high 90s fastball. It was virtually unhittable. Chatham also picked up a win on opening day, another one-run victory over Hyannis in 10 innings. They're going to look to – some team's going to lose today, so someone's going to be 1-1 by the end of the day. One team's going to be 2-0. We'll talk about the starters for today's matchup. For Cotuit, it's going to be Evan Justice, and for Chatham, it'll be Jack Conlon. Evan Justice, a left-handed pitching senior out of NC State in Richmond, Virginia. 29 appearances this past year, a 4.66 ERA and 36 2/3 innings, striking out 36. He's got a 3-pitch mix. He'll throw a fastball, slider, and changeup. As for Jack Conlon, he's out of San Jacinto Community College. A couple guys in this game on both teams, Cam Williams on the Kettleers and a few other players on Chatham that we'll get into later from San Jacinto, all transferring to 4-year schools. As for Jack Conlon, he was a 4th-round pick out of high school, had a hiccup in his physical and ended up not signing, so he went and spent the year at Texas A&M, ended up transferring to San Jacinto. He played last summer in Chatham, and a crazy story about him, he traveled 2,000 miles in his car with his father to get to Chatham and actually was the first person there.
Absolutely. He was so dedicated and ready to go last season that he beat Tom Holliday, his first-year manager, to Veterans Field out there on the Lower Cape in Chatham. And that really showed Tom Holliday what kind of a player, what kind of a competitor Jack Conlon was. He was pretty good for the A's last season. Went with a 2-1 record, a 5.53 earned run average in 7 starts, 9 games played. Racked up just over 25 innings, so a pretty decent sample size for him. This guy's got a lot of velocity. He'll be a challenge for the Cotuit lineup today. And on the other side of things, we get to see Evan Justice for the Kettleers, a lefty out of NC State. Tall, 6'4", 190 pounds. Typically a bullpen guy that came in relief for the Wolfpack this past spring, so it'll be interesting to see how he figures into a starting role. Word on the street is that Chatham starter and Conlon will go for the first 3 innings, and then we'll see a couple other pitchers that work in 3-inning segments later in the game. So we'll see how Cotuit counters that with their scheduled pitching staff today.
And I'm excited to see how the offenses respond. We talked about how they were able to scratch and claw for some runs, but the crazy thing is both teams only had 1 extra base hit each in yesterday's opening day. So we'll see how the offense shakes up. Of course, Coach Roberts changed the lineup up a little bit, and we'll get into that after the break.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time to see how the Kettleers respond to a different club. I think YD yesterday was a little out of sorts. Didn't quite have their full stable of players. And the same thing with Chatham today. Both of these teams didn't produce offense at a highly successful rate. You mentioned the extra base hit stat arm. That's completely spot on. Cotuit went with the small ball. Chatham kind of did too yesterday. They had a sac fly. They scored on a wild pitch, a bases loaded walk. They only scored 1 of their 5 runs on an actual base hit. So both of these teams are going to have to swing the bat a little bit if they want to produce in this ball game.
And I think we'll see a lot more of Mike Roberts' small ball if that's not the case. Probably regardless, he's going to be doing a little bit of that. So we'll see which players he likes to bunt with. As we saw yesterday, he's not afraid to bunt with anyone. He bunted with the Golden Spikes finalist in Nick Gonzalez, and pretty much everyone through the lineup squared at some point during that game.
Yeah, I think everybody had a bunt attempt somewhere in there, no matter who they were. And that goes with Mike Roberts and his team mentality that he wants to apply to this group, and being humble and being a really good teammate. That has been a big stressor for him over the past 2 years in Cotuit, and I think he's found a group that's willing to do that. I think it shows a lot of humble players, and he talked about it in the postgame. Adam Oviedo, who we talked about at the top, came up with the big hit to win the game in the 7th inning. Number one, that's a great example of mental toughness. Struck out looking in his first 2 at-bats. He had just gotten in from the DFW area just a couple of days before the ball game, so he's shaking off the rust. But then you come back in a place where it counts with 2 in scoring position, 2 strikes on you and 2 outs, and your team down by a run, and he gets a classic single through the left side to give the Kettleers the lead and eventually the win. That is the kind of just tenacity that the Kettleers need to find a way to win in 2019, and the leadership and humble mentality that Adam Oviedo put on yesterday along with the rest of the lineup. I think it's going to pay dividends in the long run.
Absolutely, and that's the thing that Coach Roberts, like you mentioned, is trying to push through his entire team. But Oviedo, like you mentioned, 2 strikeouts looking. He looked really frustrated. We thought Coach Roberts might even pinch hit for him. He sticks with him, falls behind in the count, and is able to pick up the big hit. We'll go to a quick break as you're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to Lowell Park, and what's turned into a beautiful day. We weren't even sure if we were going to get this game in, coming in to the afternoon now. The sun is out, the field is dry, and we're ready to get going today with first pitch. Before we do that, we'll get into the lineups for the visiting Chatham Anglers. Caden Polkovich will lead things off and play second base. Colin Hall will bat second, playing center field. Jamal O'Gwyn, the big first baseman, bats third. Charlie Welsh, the DH, bats in the cleanup spot. Ben Ramirez, the shortstop, bats fifth. Aiden Fernandez, the left fielder out of FIU. Welsh, naturally a catcher, though he's a designated hitter today. We'll see that with a lot of these Cape Cod teams like to keep their catchers in the lineup with several catchers on the roster. Sometimes one will DH and the other will be behind the dish, as we see Justice's first pickoff of the day. Wasn't much of a challenge for O'Gwyn to get back. Now he tries a snap throw over to first, and O'Gwyn has to dive back. He's in safely once again. O'Gwyn calls for time to get some dirt off his body. Looks like he got some in his pants as well. One of the cons of head first sliding. Still 1-1 to the designated hitter, Welch. The pitch misses out and away. O'Gwyn takes a big shuffle as the ball just got behind Kessler, but he'll stay at first. Good job by Kessler to quickly pounce on that ball as it rolled about 4 feet behind him. O'Gwyn may have had a shot but hesitated, decided to retreat back to first base. So now 2-1 to the cleanup hitting Welsh. Justice comes set, holds for a while once again, and kicks and deals. It's taken up for ball 3, 3-1 to Welsh. The Kettleers in their maroon pinstripes, maroon hat, maroon socks, and the white jerseys. With the maroon stripes going down, Cotuit letters all in maroon. The 3-1. Swung through, foul tipped as O'Gwyn is picked off at first. He gets in a pickle. He runs to second base and tagged out by Oviedo for the third out of the inning. So 1 hit, no runs, no errors as Evan Justice is able to get out of the inning with no damage. As we'll go into the home half of the first, the Cotuit Kettleers will look to get on the board first. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Could you whisper in my ear the things you want to feel? I'll give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own? I wonder where you are. Live with all your
Welcome back to Lowell Park for the home half of the first. We'll give you the Cotuit Kettleers lineup here as Cam Hill will lead things off shortly. Then Nick Gonzalez out of New Mexico State, the second baseman. Colton Kessler, the catcher, bats third. Casey Schmidt at the hot corner batting fourth. Arajanu, the big DH, bats fifth. Adam Oviedo, the shortstop, bats sixth. Ron Sweeney, the first baseman, bats seventh. Colin Davis will bat eighth and play right field, and Dante Williams will round things out in center field.
A little bit of a switch up for Mike Roberts' lineup today, Arm. Good to see Cam Hill in the leadoff spot. He batted eighth yesterday. Dante Williams still closed it out the 9 spot. I like that idea. Some speed at the bottom of the order to balance things off. And then Nick Gonzalez in his traditional 2 spot. Colton Kessler up to the 3. Obi back down to the 6 spot, and Arajanu and that power hitting 5th spot. One thing you'll learn about Coach Roberts here at Cotuit is he rarely comes out with the same lineup twice. So no surprise in Game 2 that we have our second different lineup on the season.
It's great to see early in the season, see what you got in your back pocket if you're Coach Roberts, shuffle things up. Obviously a lot of temp guys, a lot of guys he's trying to get some at-bats to, so we'll probably see some pinch hitters as well. But Cam Hill has done a great job of getting on base. So it's nice to see him in the leadoff spot, like you said, and we'll see how he can set the table for the middle of the order. Hill, a junior out of the University of Kentucky, had a pretty nice year this past season. 248, 1 home run, 10 stolen bases. The first pitch is flared out to left field for a base hit. And Hill will round first, take a few shuffle steps, and retreat back to the bag. 1 pitch, 1 single here for the Kettleers.
Cam Hill did a great job yesterday at reaching base. He walked a couple of times. He reached on an infield hit. This time he starts off the ball game with a slash into left field. First pitch he sees, it's a leadoff single.
We've seen a lot of aggression out of the leadoff hitters the last couple of days from the Kettleers. We'll see what coach decides to do with Nick Gonzalez here. 1-0's in the dirt for ball one. Even things up at 1-1. Gonzalez, of course, the Golden Spikes finalist. Can't talk enough about how great the season he just had was. The reigning Division I batting champion. 17 home runs at the plate. Drove in top 5 in basically every single offensive category. RBI, runs, you name it. He was probably among the top in the country. He's ahead here 1-0 to the right-handed pitching Conlon. Conlon comes set, kicks and deals the 1-0. Taken down for ball 2. Hill is a threat to run at first. As we mentioned, 10 stolen bases this past year at Kentucky. And Coach Roberts is not afraid to be aggressive early in ball games. Hill with a modest lead off of first. The pitch to Gonzalez is taken down once again. 3-0. Gonzalez is way ahead.
Nick Gonzalez has already demonstrated that he is a patient batter. He worked a walk yesterday in an 0-for-2 performance.
Did come up big with a nice sac bunt late in the game that ended up resulting in 2 runs. The 3-0's taken down for ball 4. The Kettleers are in business here. Runners on first and second, nobody out, and the power-hitting catcher Colton Kessler will stride to the plate.
Big opportunity for Colton Kessler now. This is a guy that looks like he's ready to pounce on a chance with base runners on, and we know the power that he has.
Kessler, a guy that competed in the Texas Collegiate Home Run Derby last summer, was an all-star as well. The first pitch is taken down for ball 1. It's 5 straight balls for the pitcher. Conlon looking to recapture the strike zone. As Kessler takes a breath, gets in, strides into the plate. 297 this past year for Kessler, 12 doubles, 5 home runs, 29 RBIs. The 1-0 is taken away. Actually nips the outside corner, 1-1. Jumped the gun there. Looks like it must have caught the corner.
Conlon pumping it up to 94 right there, arm. He's got velocity. That's one of his big trademarks. 6'5", really comes downhill in his delivery with that fastball.
As you can see, the big issue with Conlon's typically the control. If he can locate that fastball, he's tough to hit. The 1-1. Changeup misses up and out. Looks like he's struggling to really locate any of those off-speed pitches. 94 is great until you can't locate that off-speed. Then it doesn't really look like 94 anymore. These guys can jump all over that in the Cape Cod League. So 2-1 to the 4-hitter Kessler. 2 men on, nobody out here in the bottom of the first. As Kessler calls time. Conlon looks down for the sign, comes set. Kicks and deals the 2-1. Taken away for ball 3, gets away from the catcher Miller. He's able to pounce on it before any runners can advance. And he'll call time and go talk to his pitcher Conlon.
A lot of balls early on from Jack Conlon on the bump. That one nearly got away from Miller behind the plate too. Would have allowed both runners to get into scoring position. Wonder what pitch they're going to go with here. 3 balls and 1 strike on a dangerous hitter in Kessler. But you got no outs in the inning. At some point, you're going to have to make a pitch.
Nowhere to put Kessler here. You definitely don't want to load the bases up for Casey Schmidt, who's been swinging a pretty nice bat so far this season. The 3-1. Taken for a strike on the inside corner. Make things full at 3-2. Conlon pitched to Chatham last year. Walks were a little bit of an issue there as well. 14 walks in 26 innings pitched. He becomes set, ready to kick and deal the payoff pitch. It's fouled off over the third base dugout, and we'll do 3-2 one more time. On deck is Casey Schmidt, the third baseman, followed by the power-hitting DH and first baseman Araja New. Kessler stands tall on the left side of the plate. Hands just over his shoulder and never gets cheated on a swing. The payoff pitch one more time. It's taken up and out for ball 4. That'll load things up here in the bottom of the first. No outs.
Hill singles on the first pitch. Gonzalez works a 4-pitch walk, and Kessler survives a 3-2 pitch to work the second walk of this frame. Huge opportunity for the Kettleers. This is somewhere or something where the Kettleers did not execute last year with runners on. Could have had a lot more at various times in the season. See if Casey Schmidt can reverse that trend here in 2019.
Schmidt awaits the first pitch from Conlon. It's taken inside for ball 1. Conlon really struggling out there to find the strike zone. Casey Schmidt, a junior out of San Diego State, a two-way guy. Hit .315 with 5 home runs, drove in 36, also picked up 8 saves. 1-0's taken up and in, 2-0. See if Schmidt even has the green light here, as Conlon's really struggling to find the zone. Mostly missing up and in to righties, up and out to lefties. Seems like he's letting that ball go too early. The 2-0 to Schmidt. Crushed out to left field. Gives Adon Fernandez giving chase. He camps under it. Tagging is the runner Hill, and he will get in easily with the first run of the ball game. It is 1-0 Kettleers on a sac fly off the bat of Casey Schmidt. So some good situational hitting there by Casey Schmidt, able to lift the 2-0 fastball out into left field and easily gets Cam Hill in.
Casey Schmidt doing his job. We talked about it in the open. Do your job, put the team first. Doesn't have to be fancy. Don't have to be the star, just be productive. And Casey Schmidt did exactly that with a deep sac fly to left. Kettleers will take a 1-0 early lead.
That brings up the DH Araja New. A Kentucky commit, just played his past season at Wallace Community College, where he hit .394, 19 home runs, 65 RBIs. Was just drafted in last week's draft, 16th round by the Red Sox. The 1-0's taken up and out for ball 2, 2-0. Not a guy you want to fall behind. Can put the ball out of the yard pretty much any given time. He's a threat. The 1-1 to Anu is taken down and away for ball 2.
Now, how about all the Kentucky flavor at the top of Cotuit's lineup? Cam Hill batting leadoff, Colton Kessler at the 3 spot, and now Araja New, who will arrive in Lexington this fall. Lot to be excited if you're a Cats baseball fan with these 3 players out on the Cape.
The 2-1 to Anu is a broken bat flare over that shortstop's head, and coming home is Nick Gonzalez with the play at the plate. The throw is not in time. That'll be the second run of the ball game, as Araja New drives in Nick Gonzalez on a broken bat single that just flared right over the shortstop Ramirez's head.
Mike Roberts always preaches base running, and he wants a team that has speed in their makeup, and Nick Gonzalez is the kind of guy that fits that mold, and he was wheeling around third. Decent throw from center field coming from Colin Hall, but it was not nearly in time, and Araja New picks up his first Kettleer RBI. Good stuff from the top of the Cotuit order here in the bottom of the first, and still plenty of time to do more with just 1 out.
We get a lot of confidence as a hitter when you have every hitter seem to be in a hitter's count. And that ball's driven out to left field as Hall ranges under it, comes in and makes the grab. No runners will advance on that one. So 2 away here, and we'll get our first look at Ron Sweeney today. Ron Sweeney, a sophomore out of Iowa Western Community College. The team's hockey expert as well. Ball's driven out to center field. Hall comes in easily and makes the grab, but not before the Kettleers are able to scrape for 2 runs on a sac fly and a base hit. 2-0 Kettleers on 2 hits. We will go into the top of the second. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to the village of Cotuit. The Kettleers were able to scrape for 2 runs in the bottom of the first. We'll get another look at Charlie Welch, who was left in the batter's box after his teammate Jamal O'Gwyn got picked off at first base. He'll get a fresh count here and get to do it all over again. The first pitch to Welch is taken down and in for ball 1.
Doing all right, my friend?
Doing well. I'm enjoying it. It turned into a beautiful day over here at Lowell Park.
I can't believe we're playing.
I cannot believe it. The 1-0. Taken on the inside corner for strike 1.
You know, actually, I should say I can believe it because I told you earlier, my gut feeling that we might be able to play this ball game, and sure enough, here we are.
Yeah, I did not. My gut feeling was saying no. The 1-1 is swung through for strike 2, 1-2. Clearly your gut's better than mine is.
Well, Coach Roberts and the entire staff did a great job getting the field ready. Coach always a warrior when it comes down to crunch time.
1-2 is flared out to the second baseman Gonzalez, who ranges over and makes the grab for out number 1.
This is good stuff from Evan Justice on the mound for the Kettleers to start off this ball game. Starting out with his fastball, he's been working his slider in there, here and there.
Quite the opposite of his counterpart Conlon. He's been able to pound the zone, been all around the strike zone, and been getting ahead of these Chatham hitters.
Yeah, and you've got a 2-0 lead, so let your defense help you out.
That brings up Ben Ramirez, the shortstop. Takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Ramirez, a junior at USC out of Chula Vista, California, as he flares one out over the third base dugout. He's behind 0-2 now. 274 this past season for Southern California, 24 RBIs. 81 games, 79 starts rather over his first 2 years. He laces a foul ball on the third base side. Seems like he's late on that 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, it was a bullet. If you would have straightened that out down the left field line, it would have been extra bases for sure.
So we'll do 0-2 again to Ben Ramirez. It's a curveball taken in the dirt away. 1-2.
Look at Kessler back there. He's a spider. Did you see that?
Kessler is a cat back there. Cat, spider, any animal that pounces, you name it. He's been great, and he looked really good last night as well. As Ramirez swings through a fastball up and in, and that's strike 3. So now 2 away here in the top of the second, and Evan Justice is cruising.
Yeah, he's retired 4 of the first 5 that he's faced. Was helped out a little bit by Jamal O'Gwynn's error on the base paths to finish off the last half inning.
That'll bring up Aiden Fernandez, junior out of FIU, in Miramar, Florida, Archbishop McCarthy High School. Not too far from my stomping grounds of Fort Lauderdale. Faced him a couple times, actually, as he swings through the 1-0, 1-1.
Yeah, 3 state championships with McCarthy. A very hard feat.
Don't remind me. Archbishop McCarthy made us their little brother. But great program over there. The 1-1's taken away, 2-1. Actually fell apart recently due to some recruiting violations, so was a great program. Fell apart, but Fernandez, one of the key cogs in that three-peat of state championships. The 2-1 taken up and out for ball 3, 3-1. Fernandez, a guy who had a really good freshman year at FIU, hit 262, 10 homers, 26 RBIs, but really struggled this past season. Hit just 185 in 40 starts. As that's popped up into left center, we'll see who makes the grab. It is the center fielder, Dante Williams, who charges in, calling everyone off and makes a shoestring catch. So a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the second for Evan Justice, and Cotuit will try to add to its 2-0 lead as we go into the bottom of the second. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to Lowell Park. We have the bottom of the order for the Kettleers in the bottom of the second. It'll be Colin Davis, the right fielder, then Dante Williams, the 9-hitter, and it'll flip things back over to Cam Hill. First pitch as he squares to bunt, pulls back, misses up and in for ball 1.
Looks like early on the Kettleers are going to go with a little platoon out there in right field. We saw Gun Young Kim get the opening day start. Had a slash base hit, and then Colin Davis came on for the final 2 at-bats in his spot and also came up with a double himself.
Squares to bunt and jabs at it and misses, make things 1-1. Davis, a junior out of Wofford College, a sneaky good baseball program there. Seems to be in the hunt for the top 25 every year. A lot of good athletes on that team. Colin Davis, one of them, hit .302 this past year, 15 doubles, 7 home runs, 41 RBIs. So he takes a curveball off the plate away. Also 11 stolen bases. 2-1 to the 8-hitter Davis. The 2-1 taken up for ball 3. 3-1. As Conlon continues to struggle to find the strike zone here.
And if you're the Kettleers, you just sit back and make him find the zone.
Absolutely. You don't want to chase. You don't want to give him any free strikes because he's laboring for him right now as he finally splits the plate for a strike 3-2. Looks like Davis might have been taken all the way there. Pitch was right down the middle, but he didn't even really flinch at it. So now 3-2, none away here in the bottom of the second. Conlon's already on the mound ready to pitch. He awaits as Davis finally gets back in the box. The payoff pitch is grounded out to the shortstop. Ramirez, who picks it on a hop, throws it over to first and just gets Davis by a step, who was hustling down the line pretty hard.
Yeah, he can motor it, can he? Good hustle by Colin Davis. Good play by Ramirez at short to at least gun it in the nick of time. O'Gwynn, his USC teammate, was able to pick him up on the stretch at first, but Colin Davis has some wheels for a little guy.
Runs in the family. His father, of course, we mentioned on the previous broadcast, football player at the University of Alabama. 8th round pick in the NFL draft when they used to have more than 7 rounds.
Yeah, those are some good athletic genes to get, that's for sure.
First pitch to Dante Williams is a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Williams, another athlete on this Kettleer team, one of the fastest players, maybe the fastest player on this team. I'd love to see a race between some of these guys. Junior out of Arizona. Takes the second pitch up and out, make things 1-1. Plays at the University of Arizona, a Wildcat, also out of the Las Vegas, Nevada, at a Legacy High School. The 1-1. Taken inside for ball 2. This past season in 53 starts, hit 267, 11 doubles, 6 triples, added 35 RBIs. Played his ball in the Northwoods League last summer. The 2-1 is popped out over to left field. Fernandez ranges over, camps under it, makes the grab for out number 2. Has to fight some shadows over there as the sun starts to lower as the evening approaches. Of course, if you're listening on the radio, you can't see Lowell Park is surrounded by trees. Actually, an aerial view would show you that it's pretty much a cutout in the middle of a forest, essentially. So as the sun starts to set, you get a lot of shadows from those trees all around the field. That brings up the leadoff hitter for a second at bat already, Cam Hill. So he takes the first pitch for a strike, a breaking ball. As Conlon seems to finally recapture the strike zone a little bit. The 0-1 misses away for ball 1. Hill singled in his first at-bat, started that rally for the Kettleers, that 2-run first inning. The 1-1, he squares to bunt and puts it down the third base line as it'll go just foul. It's a 94-mile-an-hour fastball up and in. Probably not the most ideal pitch to try and bunt if you're Cam Hill, but once you square around sometimes when the pitch is up there, it's too late to pull it back.
Yeah. I think Mike Roberts has got to be just so excited to see some of the players he has this year and their speed. Hill can fly. Dante Williams can fly. Nick Gonzalez can fly. We saw Colin Davis with speed up the line earlier in this inning. Just a lot of speed. Coach Roberts and Bruce Murphy have done a great job bringing in the personnel that they like.
The 1-2 misses up, even things up at 2-2. I'm pretty sure Raja New can motor a little bit too. The big TH first baseman stole 5 bases in junior college last year. We watched him motor a lot in yesterday's game. The 2-2 taken inside as Conlon started to walk off the mound. He thought he had strike 3 there, but nonetheless, we will go full here. 3-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
And Conlon is scheduled to pitch 3 innings, so we'll see if Hill can try and extend this one and maybe knock him off schedule.
The payoff pitch misses up for ball 4. That's not what Conlon wanted to do, is now Nick Gonzalez, the Kettleers' most dangerous hitter, strides to the plate.
Cam Hill's off to a great start in his early career with Cotuit. He has reached now in 5 of his first 6 plate appearances going back to yesterday. And that includes 3 walks.
He seems to have a knack for getting on base so far this year, and something he did pretty well at Kentucky. Missed a lot of time with a wrist injury this past season. So Nick Gonzalez is up. Takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Saw Gonzalez in the leadoff spot yesterday. He batted second in the exhibition before. Now he's back in the 2-hole, a spot where I think he might remain for a lot of the season. The 0-1 is fouled off. Now make things 0-2. 84-mile-an-hour curveball that Gonzalez was just ahead of. Hill a threat to run at first, of course. 0-2 spy here, might be on the move with a expected breaking ball. Don't think anything is going to be near the zone for Nick Gonzalez here. Conlon comes set, kicks and deals the 0-2. As Hill's on the move, he dives into second base in time. So whole swipe second base here. We'll have a man on second, 1-2 now to Nick Gonzalez.
Mike Roberts dials up a steal of second base with 2 outs. Now you got a great opportunity to bring another runner in.
Ironically, a really good pitch to throw a runner out there. Ended up not being a breaking ball, a fastball up. But Hill just too fast and got too good of a jump. The 1-2 is he's running to third now, and he's in time. He just swiped third base as well. So now 2 stolen bases on consecutive pitches by Cam Hill. And it's 2-2. Runner on third here, 2 away. And Nick Gonzalez looks to cash in.
Run, baby, run. Roberts is letting him loose, and Cam Hill's on 90 feet away from making it a 3-0 ball game.
Conlon looked like he was focused on getting the third strike there. Wasn't really checking Hill, who takes a big lead off at third as Nick Gonzalez pops it out to right field. Ozuna ranges back. He watches it go over the wall. That one sailed out of here. Nick Gonzalez sounded like a broken bat, and that ball just kept carrying out to right field. I don't think anyone expected that one, myself included, to sail out of here. But it does. So now that'll make it 4-0 on a 2-strike, 2-out, 2-run shot off the bat of Nick Gonzalez.
Cotuit, Cape Cod, meet Nick Gonzalez, your All-American from New Mexico State. Oppo Taco to the right field bullpen. That thing just kept on carrying. That is raw strength and power. What a hit with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Mike Roberts has to be really pleased with the urgency and energy his club has brought at the plate. We're only an inning and 2/3 into this one, and it's already 4-0 Kettleers.
That was a ball he inside-outed. It's the first pitch. It's fouled straight back by Kessler. Inside-out swing there from Nick Gonzalez, and like you said, that's just a display of pure brute strength. Not many guys can inside-out a ball against the wind over to right field. As you see, Ozuna's playing pretty shallow out there in right. The 0-1. Taken inside, make things 1-1.
Yeah, that was a sweet swing. And just another great at-bat. I don't think I ever had a doubt throughout that at-bat, even when Gonzalez was behind 1 ball and 2 strikes, that he was going to do something productive with it, and it wasn't going to be the end of the inning.
The 1-1. Misses up and out. Ball 2.
No activity in the Chatham bullpen right now. Tom Holliday is committed to giving Jack Conlon 3 full innings of work, it looks like. And a 4-zip ball game favoring Cotuit in the bottom of the second.
Ball is laced down the first base line, foul. Way ahead of a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Kessler seemed geared up for it. So now 2-2. 2 away here. The Kettleers have 2 runs already in the bottom of the second. Conlon comes set, looks to get out of the inning. And he does. Swings through it, does Kessler for out number 3, but not before Nick Gonzalez strikes with the first Cotuit Kettleers home run of the season. A 2-run shot that just carried out to right field. So that'll make it 4-0 Kettleers as we go into the top of the third. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sunny day here at Lowell Park. Kettleers in control, 4-0. Top of the third inning, and Chatham back at the plate. Evan Justice still on the hill for Cotuit, and he deals in a slider way outside, ball one. Paxton Wallace, Dranis Ozuna, and Zach Miller due up for the A's in this inning, 7, 8, and 9. 1-0 from Justice, fastball, runs on the inside, hit ball two. Paxton Wallace, a third baseman out of Wichita State, 6'1", a 215-pound junior from Greenbrier, Arkansas. Swing and a miss on the 2-0, 91-mile-an-hour fastball from Justice, 2 balls and 1 strike. Kettleers infield plays at normal depth, straight up, same thing with the outfield. Another cut and a miss on a fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Wallace.
That fastball has some nice two-seam run, diving away from right-handed hitters.
Justice the 2-2. Slider way outside, full count now. Justice has worked 2 scoreless so far. He's only allowed 1 base hit. He was back at the bottom of the first, top of the first rather, with 2 outs. Payoff pitch, fastball, just off the plate, ball 4. Wallace goes down to first. He works a leadoff walk to begin things here in the third. Here's Dranis Ozuna, right-handed bat who comes to the plate with a runner on and nobody out. Kettleers lead it 4-0. Infield plays at double play depth up the middle. First pitch from Justice, twisted off foul on the left side, strike 1. Ozuna, a senior from Oklahoma Wesleyan, an NAIA school, actually an NAIA All-American this past season. Hit .437, 22 home runs with 78 ribbies. 0-1 from Justice. Lashed into right field. Davis on his horse. That ball's down and in the gap. Rolling to the wall. Wallace chugging into third. Ozuna coasts into second. Wallace held up at third. And a throw from the cutoff, and Gonzalez stopped at home plate by Kessler.
Not sure Davis would have been able to cut that off, but a little bit of a tough route. I don't think he realized how hard it was hit off the bat. Tried to get a direct route at it to cut it off. Ended up almost overrunning it. Got by him to the wall, and they're able to easily get into second and third here. And now Chatham's in business, trying to scrape back into this game, down 4.
Top 3, Kettleers 4, Chatham nothing. But a double by Ozuna puts the A's in business. It's the number 9 batter, Zach Miller, who comes to the plate. Runners on second and third and nobody out. Kettleers play the infield back. Outfield plays maybe a shade in, straight up. Slider from Justice. That's in there in the top part of the zone. Strike 1. The big lefty looks in for the sign from Colton Kessler. Twiddles the ball behind his left hip. Now comes set. 0-1 on the way. Fastball runs down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kettleers played Chatham 4 times last season and won 3 of the 4 meetings, including a 4-3 walk-off win thanks to Bo Brundage's solo home run here at Lowell Park. Second and third with nobody out. And the 1-1 is a looping curve to home plate. Kessler knocked it off the top side of his mitt and then had to slide back to catch the ball before it got to the backstop. And Wallace stays put at third base. Both runners stay put. 2 balls and 1 strike on the batter and Miller. Cotuit actually won both road games against Chatham last season. A 6-1 win early in June. It was supposed to be a doubleheader in Chatham. The second game was rained out. 2-1 home. Downstairs, another fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike on Miller. And then the Kettleers picked up a win late in July at Veterans Field in one of the most memorable games of all of last season. A 15-5 defeat in 5 innings, thanks to the fog. It was incredible. Swinging a miss on the 3-1. Full count now on Miller.
Sounds like the fog did you guys a favor, because that game would have been one of those classic 10-run ball games where they just limp along to the finish line.
Yeah, it was crazy. Michael Tolia hit a home run, a grand slam actually. Zach Bierman had a big home run. It was a festival of hits for the Kettleers. 3-2. Swing and a slash back into the backstop chain link fence. Miller stays alive. 4-0 Cotuit, top of the third inning. Chatham's got base runners though. Ozuna on second, Wallace on third. Justice the payoff delivery. Fastball tailed in the air. Right field. Davis has a beat on it. Makes the catch. Runner tags from Wallace. Throw is way high and backed up by Justice behind home plate. But Chatham is on the board. An RBI sac fly by Zach Miller scores Paxton Wallace. Ozuna moves up to third in the process, and now it's a 4-1 ball game in the third. Wallace a leadoff walk. Ozuna the double. Miller a sac fly to right. One gone in the third. Ozuna on third base and back to the top of the Chatham lineup. Here's Caden Polkovich. 4-1 score. Kettleers still in the lead. And Cotuit also brings the infield in here. Justice the first pitch. Bending slider. Just a little up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Polkovich 0 for 1 today. Flew out to center field to lead off the game. 1-0. Make it 2-0. Fastball up again. Sunny day here at Lowell Park. Opening day was a great success yesterday. The Kettleers won 4-3 over YD. Over 1,300 came out to the ballpark. 2-0 pitch. Zip back foul into the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike on Polkovich. Kettleers still have the infield in. 4-1 ball game favoring Cotuit at home. Chatham's on the board here in the top of the third. Justice set and the delivery. Hanging slider pounded in the air. Foul ground left field. Cam Hill tries to slide, and he made the catch on the seat of his pants for the second out of the inning. What a play by Cam Hill. Ozuna tags from third and scores. Another sac fly for Chatham. The Kettleers will trade a fantastic defensive effort for another run. It's a 4-2 game.
That was almost out of our vision here, and the booth
Yeah.
was so far down into the corner, into the shadows. An unbelievable sliding catch just as he was almost running out of play. Gets the run in regardless, but at this point in the ball game, you'll trade the out for the run.
2 down, and now the base is empty. Here's a left-handed bat and Colin Hill. No balls and 1 strike. Back-to-back sac flies from Zach Miller and Caden Polkovich have cut into the Cotuit lead. 4-2 Kettleers. Top of the third inning. Colin Hall at the plate, already down in a no-ball, 2-strike count. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. He bats from the left side. Comes from Georgia Tech. A senior out of Alpharetta. 2-strike pitch from Justice. Hard fastball just above the belt. 1-2. Hall plays for his father, Danny Hall, longtime head coach with the Yellow Jackets. 32 seasons, 3 College World Series appearances. 1-2. Slider yanks foul on the right side, and we'll do it again.
Big Yellow Jacket family. Even his brother played there. See, I don't know if there's any more lineage, but I'm sure they'll all go through Georgia Tech if they play ball.
Pretty cool place to play as well.
Absolutely.
1-2 popped up, left side of the infield. Schmidt calls for it, charging in right behind the mound, and he makes the grab. And that'll do it for the top of the third inning. Chatham gets on the board, though. The Anglers score 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. And we have played 2.5. Cotuit 4 and Chatham 2. Kettleers back at the plate for the bottom of 3. When we return, you're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. In Cotuit Kettleers 4 and Chatham 2. Here's the middle of the Kettleers order. Schmidt, Anu, and Oviedo 4, 5, and 6 up against the right-hander and Jack Conlon. Conlon has given up 4 in his 2 full innings of work today. Kettleers got out to a 2-0 lead in the first. Sac fly by Casey Schmidt his first time up. And he's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes here. Arajanu added on an RBI single. And then Nick Gonzalez blasted an opposite field 2-run home run in the second to make it 4-0. Chatham got 2 back in the last half inning. A couple of sac flies by Zach Miller and Caden Polkovich. Conlon's 2-0. Whacked into the air. Deep left field. Say goodbye to that one, maybe. But Fernandez makes the catch right at the fence in the shadows. Casey Schmidt maybe about 5 feet away from a home run. Instead, it's just allowed out number 1.
Man, it looked like off the bat that he absolutely blasted that one out of the yard, but we do have some wind coming in from left field that knocked that ball down.
I thought he had it.
I thought he had it too. We're not judging these balls very well today.
Oh, my goodness. Arajanu takes strike 1 at the knees. 4-2 Kets. Bottom 3, 1 out, nobody aboard. Anu bats from the left side, 1 for 1 with an RBI single. Chatham plays him straight up. Conlon whips in, ball 1 above the belt, 1-1 now.
Here's a guy, if you think it's gone off his bat, it probably is.
Yeah, no guessing game with him. He is a big boy, built like a linebacker. Product of Wallace Community College, he's heading to the University of Kentucky in the fall. 1-1. Knocked away foul on the left side, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And he might be one of the guys I'm the most excited to see. I mean, we haven't seen him play. He'll be playing in a Power 5 school next year, but just the raw, sheer power numbers that he's put up in junior college is just undisputable.
Curveball in the dirt from Conlon is 2-2. I mean, you're talking about 394 batting average, 19 dingers, 65 RBI. This is all at a JUCO down in the southeast corner of Dothan, Alabama.
And those numbers are good anywhere.
Oh, anywhere, anytime. 2-2 offering. Fastball inside of the thighs. Full count now. Anu drafted twice by the Red Sox, not only in the 16th round this past draft in 2019, but in the 27th round out of high school 2017. Full count pitch. Hit in the air, shallow right center field. Hall ranges over to his left, and he bags it for out number 2.
Good job by Conlon there to get the fastball in on Anu's hands, a guy you don't want to let extend on those pitches. If he gets some extension, that ball's in the trees. Able to run that 2-seam in on his hands, get him just inside, not able to get a good piece of wood on it.
Now Adam Oviedo, Cotuit's number 6 batter. 2 down and nobody on. Kettleers by 2, 4-2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Corners in the infield pinch in a little bit, and Conlon misses away with a slider. 1 ball and no strikes. Ovi 0 for 1. Hit a fly ball to center his first time up. Yesterday's hero with the 2-run go-ahead single in the bottom of the 7th. Turns away a hard fastball inside foul. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Conlon now doing a good job to the right-handed hitters. Seems like he's starting to settle in a little bit, able to run that fastball in on both sides of the plate. 94 gets in on you quick when it's on the hands.
Conlon from the windup, his 1-1. Breaking pitch, just brushes below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike, a hitter's count to Oviedo. The sun's out in the village of Cotuit, 5:55 p.m. It rained earlier today. Thought we might not be able to play this game. Instead, Mike Roberts and the crew worked hard to get the field in shape. And there's a hit batsman. Oviedo set off on the 2-1 fastball. It just got him on the front shoulder, and he takes first base with 2 outs here in the 3rd. Jack Conlon was 1 out away from working his first clean inning, but now he's going to have to go back into the stretch and face Ron Sweeney, left-handed batting first baseman. Cotuit 4 and Chatham 2, bottom of the 3rd. 2 down, Oviedo on first, Sweeney at the plate. And the pitch, fastball low at the shins, ball 1. Sweeney 0 for 1. A fly out to center field as well his first time up. Pick over to first, nothing doing. Oviedo back in safe. Nick Gonzalez with a two-run home run in the second. That's the difference right now. Chatham got 2 back in the top of the 3rd inning. Collins 1-0. High and tight fastball. Level it up. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sweeney. Some of the shadows starting to extend across the left side of the field here at Lowell Park. Sun sets behind the vast wall of trees here at this beautiful place for a baseball game. 1-1, fastball in. Tipped off Miller's glove behind home plate, but he gathers just behind the batter and Sweeney. Runner stays put in Oviedo. 2-1 count again. This is Jack Conlon's last inning to throw. Chatham had a scripted lineup of pitchers today. Tom Holliday plans to send 3 out on the mound. Next up, Hayden King, a left-hander out of UNLV. He's getting loose in the pen. Then it would be Austin Vernon to close it out in the final 3 innings if all goes to plan. Early in the season, so Coach Holliday wants to take a look at all the arms that he has stocked up. 4-2 Kettleers. 2-1 to Sweeney. Pulled it hard and foul into the woods in right field. 2-2 count. Oviedo's on first base after getting hit by a pitch. He shuffles off, takes an average lead, held on by O'Gwyn. Step back move by Conlon. Not a bad move for the tall right-hander, but he wasn't able to get him.
The have a hit tradition here in Cotuit. It has to be one of the best traditions in the Cape.
It's a rallying cry, and it could be used here with 2 outs in the 2-2. High and away fastball. Sweeney loads up the count.
I think our crowd mic picks it up so you can hear it at home, but there it is, right as I was saying that. I hope I didn't drown it out, but great tradition. Gets the fans into it, and nothing like it.
Can Sweeney have a hit here? Runner going with a 3-2. And he lifts one foul again out of play on the right side. He's due for one, that's for sure. Struggled a little bit in the scrimmage against Lexington with a pair of strikeouts. Came on as a pinch hitter yesterday and sacrificed 1-4. Oviedo on first. 4-2 ball game to Cotuit in the bottom of 3. 3-2 with 2 outs. And Sweeney whips it back foul into the screen. 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Conlon. The big left-handed bat still hanging in. He's got the sunglasses on. Imposing frame. At 6'3", 210. Ovi on first with 2 down. The 3-2 again. Checked his swing on a curveball, and he did go around, according to the home plate umpire, Ronaldo Cuckram. And that's the end of the 3rd inning. Kettleers unable to get anything on the board. No runs on no hits, no errors, and a runner left. And we are on to the 4th. Cotuit still leads it 4-2 over Chatham. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We'll be right back after this. Charlie Welch and Ben Ramirez, 3, 4, and 5 for Chatham to begin the top of the 4th inning. Evan Justice misses way outside with a slider. Ball 1. 4-2 Cotuit. Hope you're doing all right out there. Sam Niederman, Arm Layton, our entire Cotuit Kettleers broadcast team. Happy game number 2 on the 2019 season. 2-game homestand for the Kettleers to start this thing off, and then tomorrow night, join us in the heart of Cape Cod. We are live in Hyannis. Kettleers taking on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at the new McKeon Park. Going to be a great ball game. Game 1 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup. First pitch at 6 p.m. 1-1 pitch from Justice, a curveball on the outside corner. That's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on O'Gwyn. 1 for 1 with a single back in the first, and he was picked off to end the inning. 1-2 dives inside of the shins. 2-2.
The little movement in the Kettleers bullpen. Not sure how much longer Evan Justice will go. Of course, his counterport's only going 3 innings. We know his day's done.
3 balls and 2 strikes now on O'Gwyn. Jack Conlon went 3 innings, allowed 4 runs on 3 hits, and walked a handful. Payoff pitch to O'Gwyn, nowhere close with a fastball. And Chatham's got a leadoff walk for the 2nd straight inning. O'Gwyn aboard for the 2nd time today in as many tries. Charlie Welch, the next batter. Time called on the diamond. Mike Roberts comes out of the third base dugout. And you might be on point here, Arm. Could be a pitching change. Evan Justice stands tall on the hill at 6'4". Pretty strong through his first 2 scoreless innings. Gave up 2 in the 3rd, and he's walked the leadoff batter in O'Gwyn here to start the 4th. And the Kettleers are set to go to the bullpen. A new pitcher emerges from the left field corner. We'll get you his name when we come back. Kettleers 4 and Chatham 2 here in the top of the 4th inning. We'll be right back in just a moment. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Inning, 1 on and nobody out. Chatham at the plate, and a right-hander comes out of the bullpen, making his 2019 Kettleer debut. Joe Nahas out of Georgia Southern, 6'1", 185 pounds, a senior from Frackville, PA. He made 14 appearances this season, 6 starts, 2-0 with a 4.78 earned run average. 43 1/3 innings pitched, 44 hits allowed, 23 earned runs. He walked 14, struck out 42, and opponents hit 262 against him. The athletic right-hander steps onto the rubber and faces off against a right-handed bat in Charlie Welch. First pitch from Nahas, down and in with a fastball, and it gets behind Kessler. O'Gwyn easily up to second base. Chatham now with a runner on second, nobody out, and Cotuit's up 4-2 here in the top of the fourth. Nahas with pretty decent velocity, sits in the low 90s, 92 on that last fastball. 2-run home run by Gonzalez. That's the gap right now. 4-2 Cotuit in the fourth. O'Gwyn on second, Welch at the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Nahas looks home, back to second, and now from the stretch. Opposite field flare to right. Davis comes in, makes the grab, let her hide. And O'Gwyn stays put at second. 1 down.
Great job by Davis there to hold his ground off the bat. Sometimes your initial reactions to go back or go in. Able to hold his ground by not letting that ball fall. The runner on second doesn't advance, and still in a difficult spot where a single has to score a run rather than a sac fly.
Kettleers by 2. 4-2 on the scoreboard. Top of the fourth inning. O'Gwyn's on second base. 1 out. And Ben Ramirez steps back up to the plate 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Left-handed bat takes a slider away. Ball 1. Couple of SoCal Trojans out on the field right now. Ramirez the batter and O'Gwyn the base runner. Nahas out of Georgia Southern on the mound. One 0 on the way home. Fastball, called strike at the knees. Pretty pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Nahas is a very downhill arm action, almost straight over the top. Closest you'll see to like a cricket throw almost.
Schmidt's playing in a little bit at third base and closer towards short. Oviedo holding on the runner at second. 1 out. O'Gwyn the runner in the 0-1. Wave and a miss by Ramirez. Wasn't able to get up to a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Nahas offset to the first base side of the rubber. Pulls up his white pinstripe pants just a little bit above the ankle. You can see the maroon socks. Come set closed off. One two to Ramirez. Fastball taken into the air, shallow center. Williams charges in and nips it off the tip of his glove. That's down. Rule it as an error on the center fielder. O'Gwyn stays put at second base. He was nearly caught in between second and third, but then immediately reacted to get back into second. Everybody safe on the play. First error of the day on either side, and unfortunately it's on Dante Williams, the Cotuit center fielder. Ramirez at first, O'Gwyn at second, and Aiden Fernandez back at the plate. The Kettleers lead 4-2 here in the top of the fourth. First and second with 1 out, and Fernandez 0 for 1 at the plate. Nahas out of the stretch, turns back at the runner, kicks and deals. Wave and a miss. Good slider down and away from the batter, 0-1.
It's the first we've seen of that slider. Nice to start him off in the count like that. With 2 men on, 1 away, you don't want to give in to a hitter here. Fernandez was on the first pitch last at bat.
Infield at double play depth. Outfield straight up in normal depth. 0-1. Swing and a miss again. Fernandez fishing for that breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes. Kettleers got out to a 4-0 lead. Chatham chipped back with 2 sac flies to make it 4-2 in the third. Anglers have chased out Cotuit starter and Evan Justice. He got the first out of this inning. And then Nahas came in out of the pen to relieve him. Oh, 2 from the righty. Fastball down at the shins. That one clocked on the radar gun out on the scoreboard at 98. Might have been a little bit of an error there. Jumping from 92 to 98. Pretty big gap in discrepancy. (4-2) Kettleers in the fourth. Ramirez on first, O'Gwyn on second. 1 down, and Nahas trying to finish off the batter and Fernandez. Joe set in the 1-2. Wave and a miss. Got him on a hard fastball. And that's a big strikeout for the second out of the inning. Fernandez down on strikes, now 0 for 2 today. 2 on and 2 out, and Paxton Wallace returns to the plate. He reached on a walk his first time up and scored on a sac fly by Zach Miller back in the third. Kettleers hold a 2-run advantage, up 4-2 at home here in the top of the fourth inning. Nahas set on the middle of the rubber now, closed off with his left foot. Pitch 1, swing and a miss on a fastball. No balls and 1 strike to Wallace. Out of Wichita State, a special school around these parts. Kettleers had one of the better shockers that ever came to the Cape League, and Grayson Genesta, second-round pick to the Atlanta Braves in the 2018 draft. Cape League MVP that season. It's 2 years ago. And, of course, Alec Baum played on Falmouth that same summer and worked his way all the way to the first day of the MLB draft, going 3rd overall to the Philadelphia Phillies. Wallace, the man that took his place, now playing at 3rd in Wichita. He's at the plate with 2 on and 2 out and a 1-1 count. Pitch from Nahas. Breaking pitch. Boy, did he twist him up. Nice curveball in the dirt, 1-2.
Big out here with Ozuna on deck. Of course, he laced that double in the 3rd inning. Not a guy you want to get up with the bases loaded.
Kettleers have the lead by a score of 4-2. 2 outs in the 4th and 2 on. 1-2, right down the pipe, ring him up. Fastball from Joe Nahas, and he gets the job done out of the bullpen. Getting the final 3 outs of this 4th inning, and he keeps Cotuit in front by a score of 4-2 through 3.5 innings of play. No runs on no hits, no errors, and a couple left on base. And we are on to the bottom of the 4th. Kettleers come calling after this. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. And Chris Daughtry with the cover of Def Leppard's photograph. Bottom of the 4th inning, and it's 4-2 Kettleers. New pitcher on for Chatham. That is it for Jack Conlon. The starter goes 3 innings, allowed 4 runs on 3 hits, walked 3, struck out 2, and also hit a batter. Nick Gonzalez with a 2-run home run. That did the damage, and that's the difference right here entering the home half of 4. New pitcher on the bump, a left-hander from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Hayden King, number 31. 6'2", 215, a junior from California. He's up against the bottom of the Kettleer order here, 8, 9, and 1. Davis, Williams, and then back to the top with Cam Hill. Sam Niederman alongside Arm Layton, our entire Kettleers broadcast crew. Happy that you're along with us, no matter how you're tuning in, whether it's on YouTube at Cotuit Kettleers. If you're listening locally and you're on the TV, Comcast, Channel 99, or online at mixler.com/Cotuit Broadcasting. Live broadcasting for every single Kettleers game on the radio, 44 of them. Tomorrow we'll see you in Hyannis, first road trip of the summer. Going to be fun going down Route 28, my friend. Your first road trip, you excited?
I'm excited. As much as I love Lowell Park, I'm excited to see what the other parks have to offer and travel around the Cape a little bit.
Well, it'll be a new one, new McKeon Park. Hyannis renovating their stadium outside John Paul II High School, and Downtown Hyannis should be good to see it in person. The pictures are online. It looks good. Their game got rained out today against Brewster. Hayden King deals in ball one away from Colin Davis. He's 0 for 1 with a bounce out to short today. Have to check on the league scoreboard to see what other games got underway tonight. Hopefully everybody else got underway. Hyannis historically has poor drainage at their facility, even with the renovations, I guess.
I believe Falmouth down the road got rained out as well.
Ooh, tough. Davis pops it up to second, and it's easy for Polkovich. One down.
Not every team can have Coach Roberts ironing out all the flooding on their field and raking it all away.
A one-man wrecking crew when it comes to getting that infield ready. Next man up, Dante Williams. 1 out and nobody aboard. Kettleers lead it 4-2. King deals. It's a bunt right back to the pitcher, and he scoops it up on his backhand in front of the mound. 2 outs. Coach Roberts tried to dial up the bunt there, but Williams lined it right back to the pitcher, and a good job by King to react to that thing.
That's as hard as you're going to get a bunt off the bat there. Yeah, like you said, great job to be able to corral that, because if it got away from him with the speed of Dante Williams, I think he's on first base.
Clouds covering up the sun right now, so the diamond shades down a little darker with the cloud cover. Back to the top of the Cotuit lineup. Here's Cam Hill. 2 outs and nobody on. King deals in. Strike one, a fastball on the inside corner. Cotuit's up 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth. Hill has reached twice today. We talked about it his last time up. He walked, also singled in the first, has scored both times with a pair of stolen bases. He has now reached successfully in 5 of his first 6 Cotuit plate appearances. 0-1, swing and a miss. Good slider away from the batter, 0-2. Kettleers in the home white pinstripes today, trimmed in maroon. Chatham in the traveling blues on white pants with the blue pinstripes. Coming up in the next half inning, we'll have some Cotuit ball players in the booth. Talking with Joey Walsh, who's back in Cotuit for his second summer. It'll be good to catch up with him. Left-handed pitcher out of Boston College, who was really good out of the bullpen yesterday. Foul ball from Hill. He stays alive with an 0-2 count. Cotuit scored 2 in the first. RBI sac fly by Casey Schmidt, then an RBI single by Arajanu. Nick Gonzalez pounded a 2-out, 2-run home run to right field to make it 4-0, and then Chatham got 2 back in the third. That's where we stand here in the bottom of the fourth. 2-strike pitch, hooks inside on the batter, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mike Roberts, if you just picked it up on our shotgun mic, just said get it going with the 4th inning here with 2 outs to Hill. Can he keep his on-base streak alive? 1-2 from King. Sawed back foul, right off the track man almost. Covered up by the piping above us here in the press box behind home plate.
Yeah, Hill continues to look like a prototypical leadoff hitter so far this year. Working counts even when he's down in the count. Staying alive, fouling pitches often. Seeing a lot of pitches.
Nobody on, 2 outs. Kettleers by 2, 4-2. Wave and a miss on the 1-2. Breaking pitch that gets behind Miller to the backstop, and he's got no chance to get the runner in Hill. Good hustle by the Kettleers leadoff man. He's aboard safe at first on a drop third strike, so scored as a strikeout at home. But Hill reaches safely at first. There's a curveball in the 5-hole of Miller, and he wasn't able to get a glove on it. So the inning continues for Nick Gonzalez at the plate.
The most unconventional way to keep your on-base streak going.
Yeah, that's now 3 for 3 on the day in reaching base.
Hey, find a way.
Runner going, and Gonzalez slashes another one towards the right field corner. Ozuna sprinting, and it is right of the foul pole. Just strike one. Nearly knocked another one out of here, Nick Gonzalez.
With another inside-out swing, he just gets so much carry on the ball with the amount of bat speed he can generate. And, of course, Cam Hill's on the move again. I don't think he's watched one pitch go without getting a big jump from first base.
Well, you know, he stole 2 on 2 consecutive pitches his last time in the second, so I think Mike Roberts said they weren't even close the last time with Miller behind home plate, so you can't stop him. We're just going to keep going until you stop us.
We like to think Coach Roberts doesn't pick favorites, but Cam Hill seems like the prototype of the type of player that Coach Mike Roberts loves.
Oh, absolutely. He's on first base with 2 outs. Kettleers in the driver's seat, 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Gonzalez back at the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Move over to first by the lefty and King. Threw it wide of his first baseman O'Gwyn, who had to dig it out of the dirt. Couple of players from out west battling here. King from Las Vegas. And Gonzalez out of New Mexico State. 0-1 to Nick. Shimmying him off the plate with a curveball. Hill now going on a pitch in the dirt. Throw down from Miller, and he got him. Tag applied by Ramirez. Cam Hill a little late to react on a wild pitch in the dirt. Good recovery by Zach Miller, and that ends the frame. So the Kettleers unable to get anything going. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 man picked off at second base. We have played 4 complete. It's Cotuit in front, 4-2 over Chatham. Coming up next, Joey Walsh joins us in the booth, and we'll be back with the 5th inning of play. This is Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Kettleers up 4-2 on Chatham, and we have a special guest in our broadcast booth. It's Joey Walsh, a left-handed pitcher from Boston College University. Joey's back in Cotuit for his 2nd season with the Kettleers. My friend, thanks so much for stopping by. It's great to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome to be back.
Here's Drenus Ozuna, who starts things off against Joe Nahas and takes strike 1. So how does it feel? Round 2 with the Kettleers.
It's awesome. Very happy to be back in Cotuit. Great time. Had a blast last summer, so thought I'd come back.
Yeah, it's great. So how did that go down? Did Bruce give you a call or Coach Roberts say we want you back?
So last year after the last game, Coach Roberts asked if I wanted to come back, and I said obviously. So and throughout the year, I kept in touch with Bruce. Bruce would come watch me pitch with Terry, and they asked me if I wanted to come back again, and said absolutely.
Nice, nice. And you're close to home, a native of Plymouth. There's a swing and a miss by Ozuna. Drop third strike, and Kessler takes care of business at first. 1 down. Nahas gets the leadoff batter. So you're close to home. Where are you staying? You get to see your family a lot throughout the summer?
Yeah. So I'm actually staying with a host family in Centerville.
Oh, nice.
Amy Johnson is my host mom, and I was with them last year, but I see my parents all the time. They come to a lot of the games, especially when I'm throwing, and sometimes I'll go home. So it's good. It's good to be a local kid.
Zach Miller, the batter, pops one up, and Schmidt takes the catch at third. There's quickly 2 away. What did you learn last summer getting better? You worked with Jerry Weinstein. Now you're working with Coach Spence this year. What are your goals, and what did you take away from last season heading into the spring?
Just to take one day at a time, work on all your stuff as much as you can. Just being around baseball minds like Jerry and Coach Spence, it's just awesome. it's a great time. You learn so much in so little time.
Mm.
So.
Did you have a good spring then with BC?
Yeah, I did. Season was great. We made a little run at the end. Unfortunately, we lost in the semis in the ACCs. So, but it's good to be back.
And you'll be back for your senior year or redshirt junior year?
It'll be my redshirt junior year because I redshirted my freshman year. So.
Okay, nice. You still got some gas left in the tank.
Oh yeah.
I love it. How's the campus? How are the facilities?
Oh, campus is awesome. And we just got a new field and we're adding on to it. Phase 2, I guess, is supposed to be done before our season next year. So, the campus is beautiful, and I'm lucky to be there. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great to be so close to home, I bet, too.
Yeah.
What went into picking BC when you came out of high school?
I mean, being close to home obviously played back. My parents could come see me play, and obviously being in the ACC doesn't hurt. Just mostly, I think, just going ACC and home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great place to be.
Too, so.
Yeah. What are you majoring in, studying?
So I'm majoring in sociology.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of found an interest to it and went with it. So.
I'm not so. What does that exactly entail then? What's the subject matter?
Pretty much like social work. You got a lot of social work stuff, a lot of criminal justice stuff, and yeah, I'm kind of just getting into it right now, so I'm not really sure what I'll do with it, but yeah.
So the aspiration is to play pro first, and then maybe make a career out of it later, or?
Who knows? That's another thing. I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
But I obviously dream is to play pro, but we'll see.
You're a Red Sox fan, I'm betting.
Huge Red Sox fan.
All right, what do you think about this year? Kind of a downer, but is there still hope?
There's still hope. There's still hope. It's a long season, but we need to get a closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a hockey guy too?
Yeah, I love the Bruins. I love watching playoff hockey, and right now it's awesome. Game 7.
Yeah, Game 7's tomorrow. How are you feeling? What's your prediction?
A little nervous, not gonna lie, but happy that we're home for it. So. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Do you think it'll be like 2011 in Vancouver? Obviously, you get to play at the Garden now.
I think we got it. I think we got this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if the Blues won.
Yeah. Right. It's home field advantage, like home rink advantage. I don't see them losing. I really don't.
Yeah. I think St. Louis had their chance, but. Who knows? It could be some reverse karma from 2011.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. It's the bottom of the fifth now, by the way. It was a 1-2-3 inning for Joe Nahas. Polkovich flew out to center field to end the top of the fifth for Chatham. So now Cotuit's back at the plate. Nick Gonzalez, Colton Kessler, and Casey Schmidt. 2, 3, and 4 up against Hayden King. And Gonzalez takes ball 1 low. We got Joey Walsh in the booth for the rest of this bottom of the fifth. Left-handed pitcher out of Boston College. Here in Cotuit for his second summer. Talking a little Boston sports, Bruins and Blues in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow. Should be a good one. Gonzalez grounds it to third, taken by Wallace. Good funnel, good throw, 1 down. So you're a Patriots fan too, I'm assuming.
Oh, I'm the biggest Patriots fan.
Do you think Tom's got any juice left in the tank, or was that the end of the dynasty?
Oh, come on. Come on. He's a goat. He's gonna be just fine. His numbers are getting better.
I think he's done.
No, oh.
I think this is it. He'll be around, but I don't think they're going back to the Super Bowl
He'll
this
win
year.
another one. He'll
One
win.
more.
Oh, yeah.
A Super 7.
Yep.
After a 6th. Wow.
Have to.
I'd love to see it. Next batter is Colton Kessler, and he just got hit by a pitch. How are you liking the guys this year, getting to know everybody? I know it's early on.
It's a great group of guys. Everybody's just trying to have fun, play baseball. Bullpen is just like last year, just a bunch of goofballs running around, just having a great time.
Who were some of the friends that you made last season? Summer ball's a great place to bond, right? Especially when you're out in that pen.
Oh yeah. Bullpen's a great place for that. Stephen Schock,
Yeah.
Joe Boyle. Ryan Leffner, Deacon Metters. Those are my guys. Seth Schumann. Yeah, actually brought a bunch of them back to my house for the 4th of July last year. It was a good time. Had a blast. And yeah, I still keep in touch with them, and it's great. Hopefully I can do it again this year. So.
0-1 count on Casey Schmidt. Swing and a miss. Oh my goodness, he just lost his bat on that cut.
That boy Smitty.
And thank goodness there's a net over there. Otherwise, that would have been on a fast track for the third base side grandstand. It's now an 0-2 count. Kessler on first with 1 out, and the Kettleers up 4-2 in the bottom of the 5th. We got Joey Walsh in the booth, left-handed pitcher. If you had to describe Stephen Schock in one word or one phrase, what would it be?
Character. He's a character.
Yeah.
He's just a blast to be around. You never know what's gonna go down. Always keeps you on your toes.
0-2 home to Schmidt. Bouncing ball to second. Taken with 1 hop by Polkovich, and he'll go to first. That's his only play. He gets the batter for the 2nd out. Kessler up to second base. You missed left, too? He was a good one.
Yeah, Leffner was awesome. It's funny because he would, right before he pitched, he would always take puffs of his inhaler. We just make fun of him for it. Yeah, I miss those guys, man. But they're doing their own thing, so.
It's pretty cool to take away those bonds in summer ball.
Yeah. So I never played summer ball up until last year, and so I got very lucky with having those guys around me. So.
And we had a few of them get drafted. The Shoe got drafted.
Got drafted pretty high.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was great. What round was it?
I think it was the 10th, maybe?
Yeah.
Yep. Really good to see.
Yeah, I was very excited for Schumann.
Here's a Rajanu, switch hitting DH, who's now from the right side. Level count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kettleers lead 4-2 in the bottom of 5. Kessler's on second base with 2 outs. And Joey Walsh is kind enough to join us here in the booth. Talking all things Kettleers baseball, Boston College left-handed pitcher. I got to say, too, my friend, your move to first is one of my favorites. How many do you think you're going to get this year?
I don't know. Hopefully a few. Yeah. Still got to keep working on it, get it better. But hopefully get a couple guys.
I think we can get 3, maybe?
Hopefully, yeah.
You got 2 in like 2 innings at Brewster last year.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was one of my favorite moments. Let's set the bar for 3, and we can revisit it later in the summer.
Definitely.
Well, that's the end of the 5th. A ground out by Anu to retire the side, and Kettleers leave 1 on second base. It's 4-2 heading into the 6th. Joey Walsh, thank you so much for taking the time up here and joining us, my friend.
It's a great time. Thank you.
All righty. Well, we'll see you back down in the pen. That's Joey Walsh, Cotuit left-handed pitcher. Kettleers lead by 2. We'll be back in the 6th in just a moment. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Back to Lowell Park. I've secured my seat back from Joey Walsh, who made it nice and warm for me. So thank you, Joey. Great interview as always. Always exciting to see who's going to come into the booth. It's always kind of a surprise for us because it's whoever's doing the raffle down on the grandstand. So we never really know who's going to come in, and it's a nice little surprise as that ball's fouled off.
Arm, I missed you, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad
you don't have to
back.
ask me as many questions,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Well, it's good I see Joey making his way down to the bullpen right now.
So Colin Hall takes the third pitch down and away, so it's 2-1. Top of the sixth here, Cotuit's up 4-2. You got 6 runs on 5 hits so far. Some bizarre games so far this first 2 games of this season. The 2-1 to the Yellow Jackets, taken up for 3-1. Jamal O'Gwyn waits on deck, followed by the cleanup hitter Charlie Welsh. The 3-1. Fouled straight back, and it'll make things full here, 3-2.
But Jonah Haas has done a really nice job coming out of the pen. Evan Justice walked the leadoff batter, working 3+ innings back in the 4th, and then Haas came in to get the final 3 outs, working around an error in center field.
The payoff pitch is grounded over into the first and second base hole and sneaks in for a base hit. Colin Hall snuck one between the first and second baseman. Gonzalez laid out but was not able to get there. So a base hit for Colin Hall to start things off. We'll have a runner on with nobody out. The 3-hitter, Jamal O'Gwyn.
Chatham starting to get the leadoff batter on. They had a couple of leadoff walks in the 3rd and the 4th. A 1-2-3 inning by Nahas back in the 5th, but a leadoff single here by Hall. The stat that stuck out from the A's win in Hyannis last night, in 10 innings they stranded 15 base runners. That is a fat number, and a number that you really don't want to see in that category.
Amazing to win a ball game stranding that many runners.
They've only left 2 today, though.
So we'll see Nahas out of the stretch as he spins a curveball in the inside corner for strike 1. 0-1 to the big first baseman, Jamal O'Gwyn.
Also, wanted to mention on that last play, Gonzalez at second went sprawling to try and stop that base hit from getting out of the infield. He almost got it.
Nahas picks over to first, but Hall dives in easily.
I mean, he can just churn those legs. He dove like he was on a slip and slide trying to get to that ball. Great effort.
You always can bank on Gonzalez having a dirty jersey by the end of the ball game. The 0-1. Taken up and in for ball 1, 1-1.
Oh, Gwynn's had a nice day today, a single and a walk. He's a big guy. I have a feeling he'll be a producer this season for Chatham in their lineup.
Absolutely. One of the few USC products we've seen in the Cape this year. He awaits the 1-1. He squares to bunt and hits it hard, but it's on a bounce to the third baseman, Schmidt, who flips it over to second and on to first. Not in time, but they're able to get the lead runner, Hall, at second base. A hard bunt to the third baseman, Schmidt. He's able to get the lead out. So now O'Gwyn will replace his teammate Hall at first base. Not exactly the way they drew it up, not what they wanted. So 1 away in the top of the 6th here, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Charlie Welsh, the Pepperdine product.
Nice play by Casey Schmidt. He fields his position well at third, charged that bunt in the shadows, and then threw back across his body Brett Favre 2009 NFC Championship game style, and was able to get it to Ovi covering at second base. That was a 5-6 fielder's choice. And they weren't able to get the trailing runner and go Gwynn at first, but nevertheless a good play to get the lead man.
Quick turn to even have a chance at first base. I really thought that bunt was, even though it was hit hard, still would have got the guy over, but great job by Schmidt to get the lead out. Now 1-0 to the cleanup hitting Welsh, who pops one out over the first base side. Davis gives chase, as does Sweeney, and it'll fall just out of play. Sweeney and Davis both converging on that ball towards the fence on the right field side, but just not able to get there in time. Just not enough hang time on that foul ball. So to make things 1-1 here with 1 out in the top of the 6th rather. Jamal O'Gwyn on first base, Charlie Welsh at the plate, and Ben Ramirez, the shortstop, waits on deck. The pitch is in the dirt once again, blocked by Kessler, able to keep O'Gwyn at first base. Kessler's done a great job so far today at knocking down all those pitches in the dirt. saved a lot of runners from advancing.
Let's see if Jonah Haas can get another ground ball here.
Haas comes set, kicks and deals. Fastball that misses up, 94 on the gun, but at the eyes of Welsh.
He can pump it up there with his velo. It's just a matter of finding the zone, obviously, but 94 on that last one, and that prompts a mound visit from Cotuit Kettleers behind home plate.
Guess we're going to calm down his pitcher, Nahas. Missing up on a couple pitches, high velocity pitches, try to get him to settle back in. So the shortstop, Ben Ramirez, waits on deck. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Then Aiden Fernandez, who's also 0 for 2, waits in the hole. Welsh flew out to right his last at-bat and flew out to the shortstop, a pop-up in the infield, in his first AB. He awaits the pitch as Nahas comes set. Kicks and deals. Fastball taken for a strike. I'll make things full here, 3-2. You hear the crowd mic, Coach Roberts apologizing for the scoreboard down, making the life a little bit more difficult on the umpire. The payoff pitch, taken inside for ball 4, so the Chatham Anglers are in business here. 1 away, 2 men on. The top of the 6th, they look to try and climb back into this ball game. It's now 4-2 Kettleers still.
Well, you never want to walk them. The Kettleers have only walked 3 today. Jack Conlon walked 3 of his own, and that really bit him, the Chatham starter. Again, objective here for Jonah Haas is a ground ball with 1 out and 2 on. A 4-2 Kettleers lead in the 6th.
The first pitch to the shortstop Ramirez is taken down for ball 1. Ramirez, another USC product. Infielder junior out of Chula Vista in East Lake High School. Consistent starter for the Trojans. Nahas comes set, holds. Looks at the runner on second base. O'Gwen kicks and deals. A check swing. They asked the third base umpire if he went. He says no. Standing behind the second base, Rudy Firmbach is the third base umpire. Standing behind the pitcher's mound. Tough to make that call on a check swing from behind the pitcher's mound. But
oh, yeah.
So 2-0 after the no-go on the check swing. 2-0 is laced foul down the first base line. Just foul. Maybe 2 feet shy of being fair. Sweeney would have had no chance at that one. Barely even took a step to it. So now 1-2 to Ramirez. And like you said, really important for a ground ball here, but Nahas seems to be missing up, which is not really conducive to getting a ground ball. We'll see if he tries to go with the off speed here, try to induce a ground ball and get out of this inning. Nahas comes set, looks over at O'Gwen again and kicks and deals. A line drive out to the center fielder Williams, who ranges over to his right, comes in, makes the grab as no runners advance for a big second out in the 6th here.
Well done, Jonah Haas. Well done, Dante Williams in center. There's a big spot in this ball game. Top of the 6th inning. Nobody's scored since Chatham got 2 back in the top of the 3rd. Just get the sense when the sun's going down here in Cotuit that you want to keep the urgency up and stay sharp. And Kettleers haven't done too much to play the last couple of frames, so it's up to the pitching to do their job and preserve a 2-run advantage.
So Nahas will face Aiden Fernandez, the FIU junior. First pitch is taken down and in for a ball. Nahas will try and get Fernandez here and keep the Chatham Anglers trend going of leaving runners on base. Fernandez 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Pop up to center field. The 1-0 is taken down for ball 2. Fernandez ahead here, 2-0. seen Nahas kind of break down a little bit here in this 6th inning. Showed the command early on, now maybe getting tired, a little fatigued, losing sight of the zone a little bit.
And nobody throwing in the Kettleer bullpen as of now.
The 2-0 to Fernandez is hit up in the air to left center. Williams gives chase, camps under it, and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So Nahas is able to strand 2 more runners here and keep the lead at 4-2 for the Kettleers. Kettleers are looked to expand upon that lead in the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Pick me up, love.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to save the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood platelets or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center. We are at Lowell Park in the bottom of the 6th, Arm Layton, alongside my partner Sam Niederman. Jason Gonzalez will lead things off here. Actually, it's Adam Oviedo, rather. My mistake. Adam Oviedo will lead things off here with Ron Sweeney on deck and Colin Davis in the hole. Followed by the 9-hitter Dante Williams, should he get up. Oviedo 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch so far today. Takes that pitch for a strike. 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Oviedo, the hero in yesterday's opening day ball game with a 2-out, 2-strike, 2 RBI single, ended up being the difference in that ball game against YD. Oviedo looking for his first hit of the day as he checks swings. First base umpire Robert Wilson says he went. So strike 2 there to Oviedo, 1-2, no outs. Oviedo in his 2nd year with the Kettleers. TCU product built up. He said before the game that he built a lot off of what he struggled a little bit in last year's season with the Kettleers. Used that to build in his season with TCU this past year. Had a really nice season. Saw a boost across the board pretty much. On base percentage boosted about 60%. As he takes that ball for ball 2, 2-2. Looking to build upon that into the Cape this year and have a nice season.
Yeah, and he boosted his average about 40 points, went from a 250 batter to a 291 batter. He's always had the pop. He's got good power. It's just a matter of being consistent with his swing and approach at the plate. We know he's got the glove. It's a matter of putting it all together for Adam Oviedo.
Pitch is fouled straight back, and we'll do 2-2 one more time.
Loved how Coach Roberts talked about Ovi and the media availability after the game yesterday, describing him as a leader and a good clubhouse presence, and you love to see that. He's been around the block in Cotuit with 1 summer under his belt, and that's the kind of guy, your captain of your infield, that you want to build around to have a successful season in this summer of 2019.
The 0-2. Fouled off again as Oviedo stays alive. Oviedo and Gonzalez up the middle, I think, could be a nice little combination.
Yeah, they're both plus defenders, too. And I can already tell they're starting to bond a little bit, see him warming up down the left field line before games, playing catch. They're throwing partners. It's good stuff.
So Oviedo awaits the 0-2 one more time. Ball misses up, and it'll be 1-2. 89-mile-an-hour fastball there.
Got a pinch hitter due up on deck, Aram. Looks like Mason Dodd's getting ready to take some cuts.
Mason Dodd got the start in the opening day game yesterday at first base. Belmont Abbey product. Which is swung on and foul tipped right into the catcher Miller's glove for out number 1. 0 for 3 on the day for Oviedo. So the pinch hitter, Mason Dodd, out of Belmont Abbey, a senior. Kind of a super utility guy, listed as a second baseman at Belmont Abbey, but played first base yesterday, can play some corner infield. He's a football and baseball player at Westside High School in Augusta, Georgia. First base just taken up and in.
Oh, my.
Had to bend out of the way, that one, as it was up near his eyes. Dodd, a nice season at Belmont Abbey this past year. Hit .313 with 15 home runs, 64 runs driven in. Hayden King comes set, kicks and deals. Misses up again, 2-0.
Right now, first base, a little bit of an open spot, a position to compete for on this current Cotuit roster. And Ron Sweeney getting the start today, Dodd yesterday, both getting pinch hit appearances.
The 2-0. Taken up and out for ball 3.
Again, offense is just such a struggle early on in this Cape League. Are in both teams with 3 hits so far today. Both teams manufactured runs in their opening wins.
Taking all the way is Dodd and lets the 3-0 pitch go for strike 1.
Get the sense that the Kettleers are going to need a run or two, though, to add on to their 4-2 advantage if they want to win this game. That's what I'm feeling.
Absolutely, and the Kettleers bullpen is strong, but you can't bank on that every night. The 3-1. A big cut from Dodd. He swings through it. Make things full here. Dodd was sitting dead red there on the fastball, just is not able to catch up. As he calls time and regroups. The left-handed pitcher Hayden King facing the left-handed hitting Dodd.
And King has done a really nice job for Chatham out of the pen in these middle innings.
The payoff pitch. Dodd fouls it off over the third base grandstand. We'll do the payoff pitch one more time. You can hear from our crowd mic, Coach Roberts is calling for some base runners out to Dodd. Dodd awaits the 3-2 one more time. Swings through it and misses for strike 3. 90-mile-an-hour fastball blew it right by Dodd. That'll be the second out of the inning.
Hayden King has really been a nice fit in innings 4 through 6 for Tom Holliday. He has now struck out 3 batters. He has faced a total of 9 batters, and he has retired 8 of the 9 that he's faced.
So we'll have another pinch hitter here. It'll be Aubrey Major. So he takes the first pitch down and away for ball 1.
Aubrey Major, brand new addition to this Kettleers roster as of today. Played with Brewster for a time last year. He's actually from my neck of the woods, a native of Indianapolis, Indiana, out of North Central High School down on 86th Street.
Major swings through the 1-0 pitch, a curveball. Make things 1-1. Major, a tall, lanky outfielder, 6'5" as he stands there at the plate. The 1-1. Taken on the outside corner for strike 2. He was a Big East all-freshman, a freshman of the year, actually. in the Big East in 2018.
Player from Xavier University in Cincinnati.
Fouls off that pitch over the first base dugout. A 91-mile-an-hour fastball, just able to stay alive. Seven home runs this past season at Xavier. 34 RBIs. Added 7 stolen bases as well. He awaits the 2-2 from King. Grounded out to the shortstop Ramirez, who fields it on a hop, fires it over to the first baseman O'Gwyn in time for out number 3. So we'll go into the top of the 7th here with the score still knotted up at 4-2. Been there for a little bit with just 3 hits for each team so far. Going to the top of the 7th with Sam Niederman back on the call. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
A 4-2 ball game in the top of the 7th here in Cotuit, and the Kettleers lead the Chatham Anglers 4-2. New pitcher on for Cotuit. It's Grant Holman, a right-hander, a big one, 6'6", 225, sophomore from Cal Berkeley, out of Chula Vista, California, East Lake High School product. And he's up against the bottom of the Chatham order here. Paxton Wallace, Drenus Ozuna, and then Zach Miller, 7, 8, 9. Nick Gonzalez with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd. That's right now the difference. Chatham last scored in the 3rd to get 2 back. Paxton Wallace swings at the first pitch and chops it to the left side. Oviedo deep throw in the hole, not nearly in time. Wallace aboard with an infield hit. Casey Schmidt, the third baseman, ran across the face of that ground ball. Wasn't able to make a play on it. Oviedo backhanded it deep in the hole, but never had a chance on the throw, so Chatham's got the leadoff runner aboard again in Wallace.
And Schmidt was going to be the only guy that could make that out there, cutting it off. Got it on a tough hop, was able to sneak under his glove. Once Oviedo got the ball, Paxton Wallace was basically all the way by first base.
Drenus Ozuna takes ball 1 upstairs. He's 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. Defensive sub for Cotuit. Albert Major now plays in right field in place of Colin Davis. And Mason Dodd also plays at first in favor of Ron Sweeney. Both pinch hit in the last half inning. Ozuna takes, curveball, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Holman making his first appearance in the regular season. Pitched a little bit in the scrimmage against the Lexington Blue Sox on Saturday. Tall and lanky, and he posts up close off in the stretch. Misses low with a curve. 2-1 on Ozuna. He went 3-1 with a 4.57 earned run average at Cal this past spring, his freshman year. Runner on first in Wallace. 2-1 to Ozuna. Chopped away foul. Even count now. Another classic night of Kettleers baseball here at beautiful Lowell Park. Hundreds of fans in this village gathering for some Cape Glee ball. Plenty of fans scoring the ball game, flipping through the Kettleers yearbook, or eating one of the famous Kettleer hot dogs from the Kettleer kitchen. Chop foul on the left side by Ozuna. He's still alive with a 2-2 count. Little guy out of Oklahoma Wesleyan, a right-handed bat with the blue stirrups just showing halfway up his calves. The white pinstripe pants. Holman a move over to first, and Wallace turns back in safely. 4-0 Cotuit after 2, and then Chatham had 2 sac flies in the third to trim the lead in half. It's 4-2 here in the 7th. 2-2 to Ozuna, punched in the air to right. Major on the run. That ball's down in the right field corner. Major has trouble with it on a backhand pick. Wallace coasts into third, and it's Drenus Ozuna who comes up with his second double of the contest. And Chatham's in business, 2 in scoring position with nobody out, visiting half of 7.
The second ball, Ozuna's just absolutely laced the other way. Doing a great job of letting the ball get deep and smacking it the other way. 2 of the hardest hit balls in the ball game, probably besides Nick Gonzalez's home run.
4-2 Cotuit. Top 7. Chatham's got runners on second and third, and the number 9 batter, Zach Miller, comes back to the plate. Holman, the big righty, on the bump. Infield plays back. Opening pitch. Curveball on the outside corner, strike 1. Miller is 0 for 1 with an RBI sac fly in the third. In fact, he faced an identical situation in the third and produced that RBI. A fly ball to right field. 0-1 pitch. Cut and a miss. Miller way behind it. 89-mile-an-hour fastball. And now it's 0-2. By the way, pinch runner in for Chatham on third base. Tyler Dones in place of Paxton Wallace, junior out of West Virginia. Holman from the stretch, kicks and deals. 0-2, lifted in the air. Right side of the infield, drifting into the shadows. Foul ground, and Dodd gloves it. 1 down. Good job by Holman to get a much-needed first out. Both runners stay put at second and third. We're back at the top of the Chatham order. Caden Polkovich, the leadoff man, digs back in. He's 0 for 2. 3 flyouts, one of them an RBI sac fly, and foul ground deep left field back in the third.
Really big out there for Holman to get. Obviously, one more out needed before the sac fly becomes a non-issue.
Holman's first pitch, a breaking ball, nubbed foul on the left side. He's ahead in the count, 0-1. Kettleers by a score of 4-2. Late in this one, we're in the top of the 7th. Both teams went 1-0. Kettleers won 4-3 yesterday over YD on opening day. Chatham spoiled the party at McKeon Park, beating Hyannis 5-4 in 10 innings. Straight up D for the Kettleers in the outfield. Schmidt shades over to the right at third. Holman to the plate. 0-1. Knocked away, foul on the ground again. 0-2 on Polkovich. Shadows creeping across Lowell Park. Only place in the sun, a little bit of the right side of the infield, and Aubrey Major battles it deep in right field. 2-strike pitch. Way high with a fastball at 92, letter high. 1-2 now on Polkovich. He made a heads-up play last night in the 10th, was on second base and tagged on a fly ball to right field to get up to third base, and then scored on a wild pitch on the next batter. That was the go-ahead run. What does he do for Chatham here with runners on second and third? His team down by 2 with 1 out. 1-2, bashed into straightaway, deep center. Williams on his horse, and it's over his head. Down for extra bases. Here comes Dones. Ozuna in to score as well. And we're tied at 4 here in the 7th. A big 2-run double by Caden Polkovich. Well, right on cue, the JUCO who's heading to Stillwater, Oklahoma to play for the OK State Cowboys next fall comes up with another heads-up play and a big swing for the Anglers. And we are level, 4 runs apiece with 1 out here in the 7th. And Mike Roberts thinks it's time to go to the bullpen. He's out onto the mound to visit with Grant Holman in the infield. And Cotuit is set for a pitching change. We'll get you that new pitcher when we return. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Here in Cotuit, top of the 7th still, and Chatham has tied this thing up. 4 runs apiece. 1 out. The 2-run double by Caden Polkovich makes it 4 unanswered runs for the Anglers, and that forces Mike Roberts to go into his bullpen. He goes for a righty to relieve Grant Holman, and he's making his first appearance on the year. That would be Daniel Richardson, a right-handed pitcher from San Diego State. 6 foot 4 inches, 205 pounds, a junior out of Northridge, California. He inherits a base runner at second. 1 out in this 7th inning. Chatham pushing for a lead with Colin Hall at the plate, 1 for 3 with a single his last time up. Hall bats from the left side. Richardson set at the belt and to the plate. Slings in a breaking ball low, ball 1. Arm, what do you look for here in a big late game situation? It's a new ball game.
I mean, obviously, he scored the bunt there, but I think he's hitting away. Obviously, a base hit gives them the lead. So if you're an infielder, you're on your bellies on anything in the infield. Got to keep it inside. Got to keep this game tied.
Richardson, another curveball. That one spins in on the outside corner. A called strike, 1-1. Mike Roberts yells out to Aubrey Major, his new right fielder, to shuffle over a couple of steps towards the right field foul line. Outfield plays a little deep on Hall. 1-1. Fastball sweeps inside. 2-1 now. The Kettleers opened this game with a 4-run advantage. 2 runs in the first. Nick Gonzalez, his first home run of the year in the second. Chatham had 2 sac flies in the third to cut the lead in half. And they've got 2 home here in the 7th on Polkovich's 2-run 2-bagger. 2-1 pitch to Hall. A bunt popped up foul high into the netting on the third base side, and it's a 2-2 count.
You said it not too long ago. You didn't think 4 runs was going to do it, and it's not going to tonight.
4 runs on 6 hits, no errors for Chatham. They've out-hit Cotuit. 4 runs on 3 hits and 1 error at home for the Kettleers. Richardson on the mound in the shadows. Tall righty looks in. Red and black San Diego State Nike cleats. Looks back at Polkovich and the 2-2. Hit in the opposite field, left side, tailing down and foul in front of Cam Hill, who was circling it. We'll do a 2-2 to Hall again. Chatham in the road blues on the white blue pinstripe pants. Cotuit in the white home unis and the maroon pinstripes. Maroon caps. Gray script C on the front panel. Cape Cod Baseball League logo on the back. Quiet crowd looks on. On a very nice June evening after some rain earlier today. Winner of this game moves to 2-0. Always want to get off on the right foot, and Chatham has the momentum. 4-4, top of the 7th. Polkovich holding his batting gloves, leading at second. 2-2 to Hall. Good looking slider, but just a little inside. Full count now. Richardson out of the bullpen, a former 23rd round draft selection by the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2017. He comes set at the belt. Payoff pitch. Bouncing ball, second base. Backhand scoop by Gonzalez. Throw against his body, and he makes a good one to first. 2 down, and the runner and Polkovich up to third base.
Gonzalez just looks so comfortable out there. Of course, he had that one bobble on opening day on a do-or-die play, but other than that, he has been so comfortable going to his left, going to his right, charging in. Like we said, him and Oviedo up the middle could be a really, really deadly combination.
Now Jamal O'Gwynn, the number 3 batter from the right side. 2 outs and a runner on third, and he swings at a fastball, strike 1. We are tied 4-4, top of the 7th. Caden Polkovich waiting in the wings to go to Oklahoma State. His 2-run double has tied this thing here in the 7th. He's on third, and the 0-1 to O'Gwynn. Lined into left field. That'll give Chatham the lead. It's down in front of Hill and rolling into the gap. O'Gwynn curving into second base. And the Anglers lead for the first time here at Lowell Park this afternoon. RBI double by Jamal O'Gwynn the second. 5-4 to Chatham with 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
A ball that just stayed up, got too much play. A big guy like O'Gwynn, a good hitter, is going to be all over that, and he laced that ball into the left center gap.
Polkovich scores. O'Gwynn's now on second base. Nobody holding on. Next man up, Charlie Welch, the DH, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Daniel Richardson slings in a curve low at the shins, ball 1. 5-4 Chatham. A's lead on the road, first time this afternoon. Out hitting the Kettleers 7-3 as well. Daniel Richardson out of the pen. One-0 pitch. Another curve in the dirt. Blocked by Kessler's chest protector. He keeps it in front. 2 balls and no strikes now. You can charge the 3 runs in this inning to Grant Holman, who got 1 out and gave up 3 hits. Richardson trying to get out of it. 2 outs, runner on second here in the top of the 7th. 5-4 Chatham. Fastball on the dirt. Welch is in the driver's seat, 3-0. Sophomore out of Pepperdine at the plate. A native of Clearwater, Florida. That's in the Tampa area, obviously, and actually played under Reggie Williams, the father of Cam Williams, Kettleers infielder, in his travel organization, the Dog Pound, growing up. 3-0. Fastball, that's in there. 3 balls and a strike.
We'll see how Richardson pitches the cleanup hitter Welsh here. He has an open bag. Clearly didn't want to walk him that easily, but could go to the breaking ball here. Doesn't have to give in to him.
Richardson checks back at O'Gwynn. Now to the plate. Missed high and inside with a fastball. And it's a walk to keep the inning going for Chatham. Welch on to first base. He's now worked back-to-back walks. First and second for Chatham. Still 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. And Ben Ramirez returns to the plate. He's 0 for 3. A strikeout. Reached on an error in center field back in the 4th. And then popped up to center in the 6th. 5-4 in favor of Chatham for the first time tonight. Two-run double by Polkovich and the go-ahead double by O'Gwyn. Richardson's first pitch right through the 5-hole at Kessler. Into the backstop. Both runners move up 90 feet. Wild off-speed pitch that Kessler was unable to scoop out. Welch up to second base. O'Gwyn, the lead runner, at third base.
This is the first time we've really seen the Cotuit pitching staff struggle so far in the first game and a half, as Coach Roberts goes out and might be making another pitching change.
Coach Roberts, a long, slow walk from the third base dugout. The infield, a slow jog onto the hill. Daniel Richardson stands there. The Kettleers have lost their lead. It is 5-4 here in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. And it looks like Coach Mike Roberts could be preparing for the second pitching change of this inning. Remember, Grant Holman started it. Richardson came in. He's got runners on second and third here with 2 outs. Ben Ramirez is the batter. And all it is a simple mound visit by Mike Roberts. No pitching change. Kettleers veteran manager in his 16th season walks back to the dugout. Home plate umpire Ronaldo Cockrum makes a note in his notebook. Umps in the Sky Blues today, by the way. We're set to play ball just in about a second. Ramirez is a left-handed bat. Shortstop out of Southern Cal. Colton Kessler checks with the umpire behind home plate before putting on his mask, and the umpire does the same, and we're ready to go. Chatham by 1. 5 straight unanswered, and 3 in this inning to take the lead. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Richardson v. Ramirez, and the pitch. Spinning breaking ball, and Kessler muffles it up, blocking it in front of home plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
He dove on that like it was a grenade.
Yes, that is exactly what I thought of. Just trying to find the right word to describe it. Shadows still casting over Lowell Park. It's beautiful sunset on Cape Cod. 1-0. Ramirez takes another breaking pitch low at the shins. Check that, make it 3-0 now. Schmidt plays in at third, just about even with the base. Oviedo plays nearly directly behind second base with a runner in Welch. 5-4 Chatham in the 7th. 2 outs and 2 in scoring position. Richardson works a breaking ball over the plate. 3-1 now on Ramirez.
With the open bag there, not afraid to walk him. Went to the curveball 3-0 just in case he had the green light. Base hit here would break the game open.
Richardson the 3-1. Curveball. That's in there high at the thighs. Full count now.
Now as a hitter, you're really like psyching yourself out because fell behind, you're ahead 3-0. He bends you 2 straight curveballs. You have no idea what's coming out. Could be any single pitch in his arsenal.
Mike Roberts shifts the infield. Adam Oviedo moves to the right side. 3 on the right. Schmidt, the Lone Ranger, on the left. The 3-2. High and outside. Ball 4. Richardson walks Ramirez. He went back to his bender and wasn't able to find the location, and now Chatham has loaded the bases. And now Mike Roberts comes out of the third base dugout signaling to his bullpen. So that'll be it for Daniel Richardson. He's only able to get 1 batter out and Colin Hall on a ground out. But O'Gwyn's RBI double has given Chatham the lead. 5-4, bases loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And the Kettleers are forced to go back to their bullpen for the second time in this inning. We'll be right back with a new pitcher. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball. Let's see if the Kettleers can get out of this thing. Top of the 7th, 2 outs, and the bases are loaded for Chatham. Second pitcher, or pitching change rather, third pitcher of the inning for Mike Roberts' side. This time another right-hander, Beck Way out of Belmont Abbey, a D2 school. 6'3", a junior from Mechanicsburg, PA. He inherits the bases loaded, 2 down, 5-4 Chatham. O'Gwyn's double the difference right now. And Aiden Fernandez back at the plate, right into bat, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. The lanky righty and Way looks in. And he's set. First pitch, a curveball, scooped out of the dirt by Kessler, and he keeps it in front. 1 ball, no strikes on Fernandez.
Kessler's been a wall back there all day long.
Yeah, he has.
Saved a couple runs for sure, maybe more.
He'll have to be at his best here with the bases loaded. Way the 1-0. Hit in the air. That's out of play, right side foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. This game's starting to be a little similar to the last time that these two clubs met in Lowell Park. It was back near the end of July last summer, and Chatham rallied from as many as 7 down, 6 down actually, and ended up winning the ball game 10-9 over Cotuit in 8 innings due to darkness. 1-1 from Way. Sweeping curve, down and out. 2 balls and 1 strike. This inning began with an infield hit by Paxton Wallace. Ozuna doubled to make it 2nd and 3rd with no outs. Miller popped up to 1st, and then Polkovich tied it with a 2-run double. Bases loaded, 2 down still, and Way misses high with a 91-mile-an-hour heater. 3-1 on Fernandez. Grant Holman was relieved. Daniel Richardson came in, got a bounce out from Colin Hall, 2 away, and then O'Gwyn had the double to make it 5-4 Chatham, their first lead of the afternoon. And back-to-back walks by Richardson. Way in danger of losing another, his 3-1. That's ball 4. Fernandez goes down to 1st. Chatham moves the carousel around. Runner comes home to score at 3rd in O'Gwyn, and now it is a 2-run deficit for the Kettleers. 6-4 in favor of the Anglers in this never-ending 7th. That's 6 unanswered for the A's on the road, 4 in this inning. 3 walks in a row for Cotuit pitching out of the pen. And now a new batter, and Tyler Dones comes to the plate. He was a pinch runner for Paxton Wallace at the beginning of this inning. He takes up at the chin. 1 ball and no strikes. Kettleers down 6-4, visiting half of the 7th. Chatham has 4 home in this frame. Fernandez on 1st, Ramirez on 2nd. Welch the lead runner at 3rd. Dones out of West Virginia at the plate. He bats from the right side. Way a fastball, 94, but just off the edge of the plate. Ball 2.
Way looks a little too amped up right now, missing high. Throwing hard and in the low mid-90s, but it's important to throw strikes right here, not blow by these guys.
Beck looks in, now comes set. Tan mitt at the shoulders. Bouncing ball to 2nd, should be enough. Gonzalez, Dodd, that'll do it for the inning. And the Kettleers finally get out of it, but Chatham does major damage. The 2-run double by Polkovich tied it at 4. O'Gwyn the go-ahead double, and then another walk to load the bases. That brought a run in to make it 6-4. Stretch time here at Cotuit. It is going to be the Kettleers back at the plate for the bottom of the 7th inning, and Cotuit needs some runs. We'll be back with that in just a moment. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th here at Lowell Park. Kettleers on the short end of a 6-4 ball game. Cotuit sends up the bottom of the order in this inning. 9-1 and 2, Dante Williams, Cam Hill, and then Nick Gonzalez. And they'll be up against a new pitcher. Chatham had scheduled their staff for this pitching outing today, and right now they're right on schedule. Jack Conlon pitched the first 3. Hayden King worked the middle 3, and it's up to Austin Vernon to pitch the final 3, a right-hander out of North Carolina Central. Big boy, 6'8", 295 pounds, a junior from Raleigh, North Carolina. He made 22 appearances this past season, 7 starts, a 3-4 record, sporting a 4.09 earned run average, 44 innings pitched. Gave up 36 hits, 27 runs, 20 of them earned. He walked 21, struck out 57, pretty good rate. And opponents hit 220 against him. Alrighty, Arm, what do you feel in your bones here? Kettleers need a comeback. They've scored 4 runs on 3 hits, and they got to find a way to make up this deficit with 9 outs to play with.
They need to do a little bit of what Chatham's been doing to them. Obviously, Vernon, a power arm, but also struggles with control a little bit. So if they can fight, get a couple guys on base, put the pressure back on Chatham, it's still only a 2-run game, as miserably long as that previous inning was.
First pitch from Vernon, a strike fouled back, 96 miles an hour on a fastball, and he lost his cap in the process on the follow-through. He's got a big mane of hair underneath that cap. Some long locks, and he puts it back on to readjust for an 0-1 against Williams.
He's a max effort pitcher. He's going to put every ounce of that 6'8" body into it as the hat goes again.
He just did it again. Another foul by Williams. It's 0-2, and he lost his hat. 96, though. He's bringing the heat, that's for sure. Chatham took the lead in the 7th. They hung up a 4 spot. Jamal O'Gwyn with an RBI double to take the lead initially. Bending breaking pitch, and a good one. Caught the outside corner. Williams down on 3 pitches. Backwards K. Austin Vernon pumping gas. 3 pitches and a strikeout to retire Williams. He's now 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Back to the top of the Cotuit lineup. This man, Cam Hill, has had a really nice day, a really nice start in his first 1+ games as a Kettleer. 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored, a single and a walk. Vernon misses low and in with another fastball, and he lost his hat again on his follow-through. He runs his hand back through his long hair and readjusts the blue angler's cap with the red A on the front. 1-0 to Hill. High and outside, 95 miles an hour with a fastball, ball 2, and guess what? He lost his hat. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
I think they need to tape it to his head. Or is there a rule? Can you go no hat? I mean, at this point, I think you just got to go no hat.
Vernon takes a long pause off the mound, and he just took a moment to meditate and then put his hat back on and make sure it was tightened up on his noggin. 2-0, called strike at the knees, another fastball, 2-1 on Hill.
I mean, there's not many other ways you can put a hat on, so I think it's going to just keep happening, but he's throwing gas.
He is, indeed. He comes home with a 2-1, brushed him back, low and in with a heater, 3-1. Kettleers down 6-4, bottom of the 7th. 1 out, nobody aboard. Cam Hill at the plate from the left side. Austin Vernon, the right-hander, leg lift, and a whip to the plate. Fastball in, did not get the zone, or yes, it did. Called strike, and now the count's loaded up. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I think he might go to the fastball here. He's not afraid to challenge these hitters.
Here it comes. Hit hard up the middle. Couple of weird hops to Ramirez, but he makes the play. Throw wide at first base, though. Cam Hill safe at first. He's just a magnet to get on base in this ballgame. It's the 4th consecutive trip that he's reached successfully. This time he reaches on what might be an error. It's got to be after a wide throw by Ramirez. And the Kettleers have life with a tying run coming to the plate and Nick Gonzalez.
Looks like Ramirez sat back on that ball a little bit, let it take 1 too many hops, then had to throw it flat-footed, and that's what tends to happen. Ball get away from you when you throw it off your back foot.
Score it as an E6. First error on the day for Chatham. Now Nick Gonzalez. Vernon's first pitch upstairs above the belt, 1-0.
This is a matchup I'm excited for. Talk about one of the best hitters in the entire country and Nick Gonzalez against a major power pitcher in Vernon.
Kettleers down by 2. Gonzalez the tying run with 1 out and a runner aboard. 1-0 from Vernon. Lifted in the air, right side and in foul ground. There's no room for Ozuna over there, and it's just strike 1. Vernon hasn't lost his cap since taking some time to tighten it up on his head. It's 6-4 Chatham, bottom of the 7th. Sun going down in Cotuit. Hills on first base and Gonzalez at the plate. Closed off, Vernon from the stretch. Swinging a foul back into the chain link fence. 1-2 now.
He seemed to find a method to keep the hat on now. I'm not sure what he did,
Yeah.
but it's sticking.
Maybe he needs to go down by a size or something like that.
Maybe get a haircut.
That too, that's for sure. Gonzalez 1 for 2. The big 2-run bomb back in the second. 1-2 breaking pitch. Slides off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the All-American. Gonzalez walked in the first and scored. 2-run bomb in the second. Bounced to third his last time up in the 5th. Chatham squeezes in on the middle of the infield for a double play potentially. O'Gwyn covers Hill at first. Hall shifted to the right and center. 2-2 from Vernon. Ripped into deep left. Carrying near the foul pole. Doesn't have enough. Not in time. It does not get there. It wouldn't have had the distance anyway. It was left and foul for Gonzalez. Still 2-2. And Gonzalez takes his time to come back into the home plate circle. Readjust his Blackwood bat and grip it with his maroon and white Franklin batting gloves. 1 tap on his left white Adidas cleat. Touches the top of his maroon batting helmet with the right hand, and now he digs back in. Kettleers down by 2. Hill on first in the 2-2. Gonzalez takes. Good look at a curve in the dirt, and it's full. 3-2. The big power pitcher in Austin Vernon on the mound. He's out of the stretch at 6'8", 295. Hill on first after reaching on an error. Kettleers trail at 6-4 in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2, runner going, and Gonzalez whacks it back foul.
I was about to say I was surprised Hill was still standing on first base the way he's been aggressive today. 3-2 will probably be on the move again.
6-4 in favor of Chatham. The A's have taken the lead on the road. They hung up a 4 spot in the top of the 7th. Ronaldo Cockrum, the home plate umpire, dusts off home plate.
Big guy like Vernon, 6'8", typically not great at holding runners on, kind of sometimes pretty slow to the plate. So a good guy to steal off of, even though you're chasing 2. Might be good to get the double play out of order.
Hill, the runner at first. He's going again. 3-2, down and away with a curve. Well done, Nick Gonzalez. He's aboard for the 3rd time today. Beautiful plate appearances. It's his 2nd walk of the day. And he's on first. Hill up to 2nd without a problem. 2 on with 1 out. And the Kettleers are set to take Colton Kessler to the plate.
That right there was a sign of respect from Vernon. Talking about one of the best hitters in the country, Golden Spikes finalist. He doesn't want to put the tying run on base, a speedster, in Gonzalez, but he doesn't want to go into him. Didn't give him a fastball, even though he runs it up in the mid to high 90s. Didn't want to take his chances, would rather take his chances with Kessler, who is a proven power hitter in himself.
Great point, my friend. I have a feeling that Gonzalez is going to be up there in the league leaders for walks this season, too.
Absolutely.
Prime opportunity for the Kettleers and a pause in the action. Chatham goes with a mound visit. Pitching coach Dennis Cook makes his first appearance on the night. University of Texas at Austin alum, and he talks with his big right-hander in Vernon. Zach Miller still the catcher, and he trots back behind home plate. His counterpart in Colton Kessler is now at the plate for the Kettleers. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's walked and was also hit by a pitch, reaching twice in 3 tries. Dante Williams struck out looking on 3 pitches. Hill reached on an error to short. Gonzalez just worked a walk. 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Kessler bats from the left side, bottom of the 7th, and the Kettleers are down 6-4. Vernon closes off with the left foot on the stretch and pumps it home. Fastball outside, 91, ball one. It's cooling down a little bit. It was 75 degrees at game time first pitch. Now it's getting down to about 72 with the sun setting in the background. Vernon the 1-0. Instead he twists back to check on Hill at first. Nobody covering. Dones plays at second. Ramirez at short. All of the field at Lowell Park a little darker with the sun setting behind the beautiful back line of trees. Gonzalez on first, Hill on second. 1-0 to Kessler. Big cut and a miss behind a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue sky overhead, and it turns into a white and then a light peach color in the distance.
Starts to get hard to see the ball in the sky around this time.
No lights at Lowell Park, a Cotuit tradition. 1-1. Way upstairs with a fastball, and Miller sprung up from his crouch to stab it out of the air. 2-1. Kessler ahead in the count at the plate. He takes time out of the batter's box to readjust his gloves. He's got the blue UK shin guard on his front right ankle. Chatham 6 and Cotuit 4 in the bottom of the 7th. First and second with 1 out. 2-1 from Vernon. Hit away foul on the left side, and Kessler has evened it up 2-2. Cotuit only has 3 hits today. They've scored 4. 2 of them coming on Gonzalez's home run. He's on first. Hill has reached in 4 consecutive plate appearances. He's on second. What can Kessler come up with the plate here? Vernon, the 2-2. Breaking pitch, check swing. Appeal to third, did not go around according to Rudy Fernbach. And it's 3-2 again. Chatham with 4 runs at the top of the 7th to take the lead. Cotuit with another long half inning of their own here in the home half of the 7th. First and second, 1 out. 3-2. Kessler takes right down Main Street. Strike 3. Vernon, a big backward skate. He needed that one. Second out of the inning. A big out to retire a threat in Kessler, and here comes Casey Schmidt, who will have to try and come up large for the Kettleers with 2 on and 2 out and a 2-run deficit at home.
Unsurprising stat on Verner. He set the NC Central record with 11 and a half strikeouts per 9 innings, something that probably will never be broken, or won't be broken for a very long time.
He's got 2 in this inning. Runners take off. Throw down to third. Hill dives in, and he's safe. Miller's throw not in time. Polkovich tried to make the tag at third. The trailing runner and Gonzalez safe at second in the process. Mike Roberts with a double steal to get both runners in scoring position with 2 away here in the 7th. Could be a big play. Now it's up to Schmidt to put a bat on the ball at the plate. 6-4 Chatham. 1 ball and no strikes. Verner's pitch. Downstairs. Check swing, and Schmidt went around, though. 1-1. Schmidt 0 for 2. Grounded to second his last time up in the 5th. Had an RBI sac fly in the 1st. Straight up D for Chatham. Runner out of third base, and Hill teased a steal of home. Instead he went back, and Schmidt just took a swing and a miss. 1-2. Vernon's now out of the windup.
Seems much more comfortable out of the windup. He started to lose the strike zone a little bit when he went out of the stretch. Was mowing guys down out of the windup early in the inning.
Can Cotuit find a way to tie it? Gonzalez on second, Hill on third. And Verner steps off. Mike Roberts wanted a balk, perhaps. Doesn't get the call. Second and third with 2 outs. Cotuit down 2, the 1-2. And Schmidt takes at the shins. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Austin Vernon at 6'8", the big right-hander out of North Carolina Central. Trying to finish off Schmidt. 2-2. Breaking pitch, framed by Miller, but does not get a call. It's off the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That didn't miss by very much, if it did at all.
About to hit the arc of this inning. Gonzalez at second, Hill on third. Kettleers down 6-4. 2 outs in the 3-2. Whipped into left field, and it's down for a base hit. Schmidt comes up large. Here comes Gonzalez. Throw cut off, and we're tied at 6. Casey Schmidt with a 2-run single to score Hill and Gonzalez. And it's a level ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Casey Schmidt registers his 2nd and 3rd RBIs on the day. And Gonzalez did not have a play at the plate. Throw was cut off by Wallace. And Casey Schmidt delivers once again. Now Arajanu, he takes strike 1. It's 6-6, home half of 7, 2 outs, and now a runner on first. Same spot in which Adam Oviedo delivered in last night to win the game on opening day.
What did I say? I'm going to say it all year long. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. That's what separates a good team from a great team, and the Kettleers have come up big in 2 straight games.
Don't forget the Mike Roberts double steal to get him into scoring position as well. Anu quickly strikes out on 3 pitches swinging. Vernon gets out of the inning. He struck out the 3 batters that he needed to, but Cotuit comes up with a big hit. It's Casey Schmidt with a line drive single into left to play Gonzalez and Hill, and it is now 6-6. Kettleers have tied it, and we're headed into the home stretch. 8th inning coming up on the other side of this break, and Arm Layton is taking you home with the play-by-play. We'll be right back in just a moment. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Welcome back to Lowell Park on a beautiful evening. We are in the top of the 8th after Cotuit was able to score 2 runs and tie it up at 6. Beck Way on the mound. He will face Drinas Ozuna. Ozuna checks swings at the first pitch, and home plate umpire says he went. Ronaldo Cuckram said he crossed the plate. The 0-1. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 2. Beck Way quickly ahead, 0-2. Great day for Ozuna so far. 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles to right field. The 0-2. Fastball that misses off the plate away. 1-2. Beck Way, the Belmont Abbey product, sits in the mid-90s. Spins a slider, misses outside, even things up at 2-2.
This is a big inning for Beck Way. A chance for him to prove himself and a chance to preserve the tie in this game, 6-6 in the 8th inning.
The 2-2's fouled straight back. A big hack by Ozuna on the 93-mile-an-hour fastball. We'll do 2-2 again. Ozuna out of Oklahoma Wesleyan, NAIA school. Takes that pitch down. Make things full 3-2.
He's had a good day at the plate, 2 for 3 with the 2 doubles and the big double that started off the 4-run 7th.
The payoff pitch, taken down and out. So a leadoff walk. Ozuna is able to work back from an 0-2 count and draw the walk. So Chatham is in business as Coach Roberts comes out to the mound and to go get Beck Way. And he's going to go to the bullpen. We will have more on the pitcher coming in after the brief break. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to Lowell Park. In the top of the 8th, we have a tie ball game at 6-6. Man on first, nobody out. On the mound is Casey Schmidt. If you think he looks a lot like the guy who just came up big with 2 RBIs, it's because it is him. He does both. He pitches, he hits. Going into his pitching stats, he was a closer for San Diego State, picked up 8 saves, a 2.28 ERA, 68 strikeouts in 75 innings. Guy can do it all.
This is really fun to see. Schmidt has a chance to be the hero here, Aram. He had the big 2-run hit to tie it up, as you mentioned, and now he's got a chance to show off his pitching chops. Mike Roberts going deep into his pen. And I love how Coach Roberts has just sold out in these first 2 games. A lot of pitching changes yesterday. Went with the ace crop of pitchers in the bullpen. Now he's going deep today. We've seen Nahas, Holman, Richardson, Way, and now Schmidt. 2-way player. He's got a chance to at least preserve this tie with a runner on inherited and nobody out in the 8th.
And Schmidt's used to these types of situations. We mentioned the 8 saves. He was a back-end guy for San Diego State, so he's very used to inheriting runners. We'll get the 9-hitter Zach Miller, who squares to bunt. Pulls it back as the ball misses down. Ball 1. Ozuna, the runner on first. No outs here. Top of the 8th, tie ball game. Miller, the catcher, is the 9-hitter. Then it's the top of the order. Pulls back the bunt, but it's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. After Miller will be the top of the order, Caden Polkovic, and then Colin Hall. Schmidt shakes off the sign, comes set. The bunt is hit twice in the box, so that'll be a strike. Home plate umpire calls the batter in the box there, so Miller's not out. Had Miller been 1 or 2 steps outside of the box, he would have been out. Fortunately for him, he wasn't on the move yet, so the ball hits him in the box. That'll just be a strike. 1-2, though. We'll see if he still squares around here with 2 strikes.
Yeah, interesting. Does he go for it all, or does he just swing away?
I think he squares away. Schmidt comes set, kicks and deals. He's swinging away. Fouls it off down the third base side. So we'll do 1-2 one more time. And a defensive replacement for the Kettleers is Cam Williams at third base. Schmidt comes set, kicks and deals. That's lined out into the right center gap. Ozuna's around second. He'll get into third. And Chatham is set up nicely here. First and third, nobody out with the single off the bat is Zach Miller. One of the rare occasions where you see a failed bunt attempt work in your favor.
Chatham's offense has come alive down the stretch of this game, Aram. Obviously, the big 4 runs in the 7th to take the lead. Cotuit ties it up in the bottom of the 7th, and then the Anglers respond here. They've got first and third, nobody out. Ozuna had the speed to get up to third and take the extra 90 feet. And the top of the order has another chance with Polkovich back at the plate. It's a tough situation for the Kettleers. You have to make sure that everybody's on the same page defensively. Where are we going with this ball? Are we playing in to get the runner at third, or are we going to play for a double play? And it looks like Mike Roberts is signaling for his infield to come in and sell out for that potential go-ahead run.
That brings up the leadoff hitter, Polkovich. He's 1 for 4 with a double on the day. The first pitch, fastball right down the middle for strike 1. 89 on the gun from Schmidt. Polkovich looking for something he can lift in the air to the outfield. Fly ball will score a run if it's deep enough. Good speed on third base with Ozuna. Not as much speed on first with Miller, the catcher. The 0-1. Changeup taken down and away. Even things up at 1-1. Infield all playing on the grass, trying to cut down the run. Obviously tie game here in the top of the 8th. Can't afford to fall behind again. Kettleers fought so hard to call back into this ball game. 8 hits for Chatham as opposed to Cotuit's 4. Slider taken inside. Make things 2-1. Hitters count for the leadoff hitter, Polkovich.
Adam Oviedo at short is playing almost directly up the middle behind the mound, nearly even with second base.
Coach Roberts likes his shifts as Schmidt comes set, kicks and deals the 2-1. Misses inside, 3-1. Colin Hall waits on deck, followed by the big first baseman, Jamal O'Gwyn. And if you're Schmidt, you don't want to get to that point. O'Gwyn swung a good bat today. The 3-1. So laced down the first base line, but just foul.
My, look out, Robert Wilson, first base umpire, had to skip out of the way there.
That'll make things full. Big pitch here for Casey Schmidt.
You'd love a strikeout. That way you can go for the double play.
The players will shift over even more. Adam Oviedo almost to the right of the pitcher's mound now. Big hole up the middle of the left side. Runners on the move, and another ball's fouled off down the first base line. Oviedo playing about 3 steps, the shortstop is. 3 steps to the right of second base. Cam Williams playing pretty much straight away third base, while Nick Gonzalez plays shallow second base. So a big gap in the shortstop hole and the 6 hole there. And Coach Roberts knows something we don't. They'll do the payoff pitch one more time. Taken down and in for ball 4. So that'll load the bases up here with nobody away. And the 2-hitter, Colin Hall, the yellow jacket out of Georgia Tech.
This is not a good situation for the Kettleers here. Another walk, and that has been an issue with the bullpen. It's now 5 across the span, make it 6 across the span of the last 3+ innings. Kettleers need to sell out. You got the force at home.
That's what I was going to say. That's the silver lining. You do have the force at home, can get a double play on a hard hit ball. And we'll have a pinch runner for the runner on second.
It's Jorge Arenas who comes out.
So first we'll see of Jorge Arenas tonight.
Infielder out of Stetson. Actually played for Chatham last year.
Arenas out of Miami Shores, Florida. Out of baseball powerhouse Monsignor Edward Pace. Always a good team down there. Speedster was a part of the football team Bases loaded, no outs. First pitch is taken down and in, almost hits the batter, Colin Hall. So more speed on second now with Arenas. That's a big second run. If he's able to get in, he'll likely score on a base hit. But if you're Polkovich, or Hall rather, you're just looking for anything you can lift to the outfield, try and give your team the lead here. The 1-0. It's grounded down the first base line, strike one.
And Chatham's got good speed all over the place. Polkovich at first, and then obviously you mentioned Arenas arm, and Ozuna is a good threat at third. So with that infield plane in, you got to be quick, but you don't want to hurry.
Power hitting first baseman Jamal O'Gwyn looms on deck. Schmidt comes set, kicks and deals the 1-1. Fouled off over the third base dugout this time. Schmidt ahead now 1-2. If Casey Schmidt can get out of this, that could be the momentum boost they need going into the home half of the eighth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Casey Schmidt needs a strikeout right here. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He gets his strikeout for the first out of the inning. Big strikeout by Casey Schmidt, but he's not out of the woods yet as Jamal O'Gwyn comes up with the bases loaded, 1 away. O'Gwyn out of University of Southern California.
Got a couple of SoCal kids battling here. The San Diego State Aztec on the mound, and Schmidt and O'Gwyn, the USC Trojan. Kettleers look to keep the infield in here with the bases loaded and 1 out in a tie 6-6 game.
Schmidt talks to his infield, make sure they're all on the same page for the 1 out at bat here with O'Gwyn. Bases loaded. O'Gwyn laced a double down into left center his second at bat rather. Takes the first pitch down for ball 1.
And Aram, I think we're getting to the point here where you just never know. Will we be able to get in this entire 9-inning game? Cotuit will get a chance to bat, that's for sure. They can't leave them hanging as the home team.
Important reminder that Lowell Park, old traditional park, no lights. 1-0 swung through and missed, strike 1.
O'Gwyn's been a tough cookie today. He has actually reached in all 4 of his plate appearances, a single, a walk, fielder's choice, and a go-ahead RBI double in the 7th.
Bases loaded, 1 out, 1-1 count to the 3-hitter O'Gwyn. He takes down 2-1. Cleanup hitter Charlie Welch waits on deck. Will change out the ball. Schmidt gets a new baseball. Kicks some dirt off the mound, sets it up better for himself. Toes the rubber, gets ready to deal the 2-1 pitch to O'Gwyn. Comes set, kicks and deals. Fastball that misses up. 3-1 now. With nowhere to put O'Gwyn.
Nowhere indeed, Arm. You're absolutely right. Nowhere to hide. Just got to throw a strike and make your spot. Trust your defense.
And this is a hitter's dream right here. You know he can't put you on. You know he's got to throw a strike, and it's probably going to be a fastball. See if Schmidt has enough confidence in his secondary stuff to throw it here. The 3-1. It is a fastball, and it misses away. Ball 4. Schmidt wanted the call. He's not happy. That'll be another run for Chatham as they take the lead 7-6 on a walk.
Jamal O'Gwyn has been very efficient at the plate for Chatham today, make it 5 for 5 in reaching base. And now it is 7-6 in favor of the Anglers. Just when you thought that Cotuit might have gotten the lead back, Casey Schmidt with his bat. Unfortunately, he loses it with his arm, walking in a run with the bases loaded.
That's 7 walks on the day for the Kettleers. It's just hard to win a ball game when you're giving free passes out left and right. So that brings up Welsh, the cleanup hitter who fouls the first pitch away for strike 1. The pace of this game was going really well. It seemed like time would not be a factor. Then we go into that 7th inning that, I mean, we don't have an actual timestamp, but it had to be around 45 minutes on that 7th inning. Now we get to the 8th, and they're struggling to get some outs here. Kettleers may have hurt themselves with maybe compromising 3 outs if we can't get to the bottom of the 9th. So it's 0-1 to the cleanup hitter, DH Charlie Welsh, who takes down, blocked by Kessler once again. He's blocked about a dozen balls today.
Yeah, I give Colton Kessler major credit. Give him major ups for his effort behind home plate today. He's commanded a good game. Just love his movement and athletic ability behind home plate. I'm sure he's going to attract a lot of scouts as we keep going on in the summer.
There's certain guys that carry themselves a certain way, and they just catch your eye, and Colton Kessler is one of them. So it's 1-1 to the cleanup hitter, Welch. He grounds one over to third base. Cam Williams tags third, throws off his back foot to first base, and gets him on an incredible double play by Cam Williams. The defensive replacement fielded that on his back foot, threw it almost Derek Jeter style on a hop to first base, and gets Casey Schmidt and the Kettleers out of the inning. Limits the damage to 1 run, 7-6. We will go into the bottom of the 8th. Kettleers look to get one back and tie this thing up again. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back to Lowell Park. The Cotuit Kettleers look to tie things up here in the bottom of the 8th. Adam Oviedo will be the first hitter, followed by Mason Dodd and Colin Davis. Oviedo 0 for 2 on the day with a hit by pitch. Swings and misses on that 90-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-1.
Well, can the Kettleers rebound? They give up a run in the top of the 8th inning on a bases-loaded walk. Middle of the order has a chance to get back at Austin Vernon.
1-1's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that splits the plate, 1-2. Oviedo struck out swinging his last at-bat. He strikes out swinging one more time. Fastball high and out. Really hard to catch up to Verner's fastball if it's up there.
That's Vernon's 4th strikeout of the ball game. He's been kind of feast or famine, but what he's been on, he's been pretty tough to hit.
So that brings up Mason Dodd out of Belmont Abbey. He pops one straight up in the air. High sky, could be hard to see. Shortstop Ramirez calls him off and makes the grab. So quickly, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up Aubrey Major.
Major, a switch hitter. He's batting from the left side here. He batted from the right side his first time up as a pinch hitter in the 7th and bounced to short.
Tough proposition for Major. Gets here today, comes into the game, probably not used to pinch hitting that often. Now in his second at bat, has to face the flame-throwing Vernon. Takes that pitch for a strike. Quickly ahead, 0-2 is Vernon. The 0-2 misses out and away. 1-2 to the 6'5" outfielder. The 1-2. It's grounded into the hole and a base hit for Major. Nice piece of two-strike hitting by Major, able to hit that ball the other way. Let Vernon supply the power and just drove it in the hole off the end of the bat.
Yeah, good for Aubrey Major, you know. Welcome back to the Cape Cod Baseball League in 2019. Mentioned that he was with Brewster last summer for a period of time. He's been welcomed into Cotuit by Bruce Murphy, Mike Roberts, and the rest of the staff, and we'll see what he can do. He's got some speed, he's got tools, he's a tall guy, and he represents a tying run at first base with a pinch hitter coming up to the plate.
And we'll have a mound visit real quick as the pinch hitter is Scott DeBrule.
Yeah, Scott DeBrule out of Jacksonville University has a chance here. It's really getting dark, Aram. I don't know if we'll be able to play in the 9th. But they haven't really signaled anything. Normally the umpires meet with the coaches and just get everybody on the same page.
And that might be the motivation with the pitching change here. Coach might be trying to delay this inning.
Stall it a little bit.
Stall it a little bit.
Yep.
Make sure this is the last inning. Regardless, that will be the last we'll see of Vernon. We'll have a new pitcher and we'll have more information on him as we come back. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Nicky, another Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, through just 7 innings this past year. Left-handed pitcher drafted in the 29th round in the 2018 MLB draft. Formerly tabbed as the #1 left-handed pitcher in all of Georgia by perfect game. Can run it up to the high 90s from the left side. You can see how he's so coveted. First pitch is a slider, fouled off for strike 1.
Now the crazy game between these two teams at Lowell Park, kind of just like last year's finale between the two. Chatham rallies late and potentially could win a game in a shortened 8-inning schedule due to darkness.
We'll see if we can get the 9th in. The 0-1 to DeBrule. Swung through and missed. Strike 2. Oh, way ahead. 0-2 here to the lefty DeBrule. Albright Major over on first base. DeBrule awaits the 0-2 offering. He takes that for strike 3 on the outside corner. And it looks like we are going to call the game here.
Yeah, perhaps the Chatham coaches have come out of the dugout. They're shaking hands with each other. Nobody has come out of the Kettleer dugout, though. Mike Roberts wants to at least chat with the home plate umpire and Ronaldo Cockrum.
Yeah, looks like we're going to have a quick conversation.
Well, Roy Reese, our public address announcer, is announcing the final score, and the fans are starting to file out. The three umpires are talking with Mike Roberts right now.
So apologize for the uncertainty there. Of course, as a reminder, Lowell Park has no lights, and we'll say it a lot of times over this season. Light becomes a huge factor. Obviously, safety is important in summer ball and in general. Got to worry about the safety of these players, make sure they're returned back to their colleges all in one piece. It is getting dark here as dusk is upon us. You can see the sunset beyond the trees. It's quite beautiful. If we weren't worried about playing baseball, I'd be enjoying the sunset. But they'll call it after 8, so that'll be a final score of 7-6 in Chatham's favor. Tough break for the Kettleers, who ultimately decided their own fate by taking so long in the 7th and 8th innings, not able to get outs, compromised 3 outs for themselves, and cost themselves one last at-bat.
Yeah, and Mike Roberts is still talking with the three-man umpire crew, and his actions are starting to get a little more animated gradually as the conversation goes on. Both teams were gathered along their respective first and third baselines, and now they're finally out in front of the mound getting ready to shake hands. The assistants for the Kettleers now shaking hands with the Chatham staff. Tom Holliday's in his hoodie with his signature amber Rex specs underneath his blue and red cap. And Mike Roberts still wants to talk things over with the umps, but players are shaking hands. The scoreboard is off. It's like that one year when they shut off the confetti after Villanova won the national championship game. There's no way they would have been able to restart the game had the shot not been released before the buzzer. But this game's a final, unfortunately, shortened due to darkness, and even more unfortunate is that the Kettleers come up short and weren't able to finish today after a really nice start, Aram.
It's unfortunate. They did a good job of climbing back into the game. Of course, Schmidt coming up huge. Casey Schmidt with the 2-run single, and unfortunately he's going to be on the hook for the loss. But a great game all around up until those tough 2 innings. Really shows how walks can come back to really bite you as a team. Got to work on that control. I'm sure Coach won't be happy about that, knowing that 7 walks as a pitching staff. Can't win ball games moving forward like that. So Chatham takes this one 7-6. What were your takeaways from this ball game, of course, besides the egregious 7th inning?
Yeah, I loved a couple of things, and I like the top of Cotuit's order. Cam Hill had a nice day. He did strike out, and he officially went 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a walk. But he reached or 3 runs scored, actually. But he reached in all 4 of his plate appearances. He's becoming an on-base machine very quickly for the Kettleers. Loved Nick Gonzalez as well, slotted in behind him in the 2 spot. Huge 2-run home run, a great home run over the right field, opposite field drive. That gave Cotuit a 4-0 lead at the time. And I also like the way that Evan Justice pitched for his first 3 innings. Wasn't able to make it out of the 4th. But then that's where the wheels started to come off. And unfortunately, the Kettleers didn't have the back-end strength of the bullpen that they had yesterday to win the game. So I give Cam Hill and Nick Gonzalez some good accolades. You can't go without congratulating Casey Schmidt on a pretty good ball game himself. He led the club with 3 RBI and a 1-for-4 performance, including a sacrifice and the big 2-run single in the 7th to tie it up in the 6th. But that wasn't enough for the Kettleers. One last kudos to Colton Kessler, who had a good game defensively behind home plate as a catcher. But you set it up, my friend, that the walks killed. Bullpen was not consistent enough with the strikes, and that's why this game was prolonged and eventually shortened due to darkness here in 8 innings.
We talked about it going into this game. We wanted to see who Coach Roberts was going to call on out of the bullpen. It seemed like he went to his guns in the first out in opening day, going with Nicholas, going with Hofstra, some of the guys that we expect to be the go-to guys in that bullpen. So today was kind of an experiment with some guys that he might not be as sure of. So going into next game, some of those arms might be available, some of those back-end arms that are going to be probably steady for this team the rest of the season. Like we said, walks are a big killer, but Cam Hill, like you mentioned, looks like the prototypical leadoff guy. Another thing about him, though, he is a threat to run every single time he's on the base paths. He's fast, but he gets good jumps. He gets in these pitchers' heads. We saw he was able to get in the heads even on third base, taking big runs towards home, faking the steal. Dante Williams does the same thing. Unfortunately, couldn't get on base today, but was able to induce a balk last game. Coach Roberts loves that stuff. He loves the aggressive base running, and that's something I'm sure we're going to continue to see, and this team is very conducive to his coaching style.
Absolutely, and the steals were big today. Cam Hill had 3 steals. Mike Roberts put on a double steal when it really mattered in the 7th, and his guys executed. It's really good to see the Kettleers making strides in that department so early on in the season when they've only been here for about a week and change. Mike Roberts has to be pleased with that aspect of the game. Hopefully Josh Spence and the rest of the staff can tighten up the pitching. You see Coach Spence out there talking with his pitchers right now, and the entire team will gather around after Mike Roberts just finished up about a 10-minute chat with the umpires talking about the darkness, and they're getting out of here in the parking lot right now. But it's a lot to work on, but a decent game today for the Kettleers. Not the result you would want, but tomorrow a big road trip to Hyannis going to be fun. A 2-game road swing before Harwich comes into town on Saturday, so we'll be at McKeon Park in Hyannis tomorrow night, 6 p.m., and then at Brewster Stony Brook on Saturday night. And, of course, before we sign off, Arm, can't forget to remind you about the welcome party on Thursday evening, 6 p.m., Barnstable United Elementary School. Going to be great. Food, fun, dancing, really fun to meet the Kettleers in the 2019 squad. So come on out to Barnstable United Elementary for a fun night at the annual Kettleers welcome party.
Looking forward to it, and then we got a ball game on Saturday at home, so let's get after it.
All righty.
Aram Layton signing off alongside Sam Niederman. Thank you for watching today. Cotuit Kettleers fall 7-6 to the Chatham Anglers. We will be back tomorrow in Hyannis. You're listening to the Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Thank you for listening. Have a great evening.